Hey, welcome everybody to an afternoon stream. Very rare, but this is Labor Day, so here we are. So we have Cassandra of Troy, who is the person who wanted to do a stream today. And I've been meaning to, there's your phone, and I've been meaning to talk about this particular subject, so it gave me a good opportunity to do so. So say hello to everybody.
Hello to everybody.
All right,
And you can call me Cassie for short.
there you go. Okay, so what we're going to start off with is we're going to talk about the Kenosha, Wisconsin shooting, and the young man named Kyle, who is not a beta cuck, and I would have never thought he was a fucking beta cuck just by looking at him, because I don't do that unless they're particularly soy, and identify themselves as a male feminist. I know certain little scumbags here on the internet assume things like that.
Well, insecure people would,
Yeah,
yes.
well, of course.
I saw how that kid, and I can call him a kid. I can call you
He
a
is
kid.
a kid.
But I saw how that kid carried his weapon, and very impressive.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly not. He's not a beta cuck. Again, he
Mm-mm.
definitely knows a few things, and I give him credit where credit is due.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing more than some people are.
Yep.
So we're going to start with an attorney. We're going to have an actual attorney talk about this, and not like wannabe attorneys and wannabe legal professionals.
The
So
knives are out.
this guy, his name is Colion Noir. You can find him on YouTube.
How do you spell it?
Colion. Colion Noir. That's Noir. He
Wow.
is an NRA shill. I will say that. And I have strong feelings about the NRA because they don't do what they say they're supposed to do, and people give them tons of money, and I'm not a big fan. So I actually support the GOA, which is the Gun Owners of America. But I do like this guy. I like what he has to say, and of course, he is an actual attorney. So let's start off. Hopefully, you guys can all hear this. I think we tested this. But stream, if you can't hear this, let me know. I'm pretty sure you will because the panel can hear it. Here we go.
So I've received a lot of messages from people wanting me to give my take on the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. Everything I'm about to say right now is based on all the information that is available right now as of August 28th, 2020. A lot of people are saying that Kyle Rittenhouse went to Kenosha looking for trouble, that he was a vigilante, that he was trying to play cop. And there are some people who are saying that he was just there to help protect property and protesters. So let's hear what he has to say on why he was there.
What are you doing out here? Obviously, you're armed and you're in front of this business we saw burning last night. So what's up?
So people are getting injured, and our job is to protect this business. And part of my job is also help people. If there's somebody hurt, I'm running into harm's way. That's why I have my rifle, because I need to protect myself, obviously. But I also have my med kit.
A lot of people feel some type of way about.
All right, so he's got a med kit and a rifle.
Very clear.
He's very clear about why he's there. He's not hiding anything. He's not. Look at just if you just look at the kid, he doesn't look like some kind of like aggressive, like he's there to slaughter anybody, right?
Nope. Not only that, it's interesting that it sounds like almost that not only was he asked, he almost like it's almost like they were hired to do it. I'm not saying he was being paid, but it just I never heard.
Are you talking about the interviewer?
No, the kid. He's like, yeah, we came out to do this, and we're protecting this building.
He lives across state lines, but he works in Kenosha, from my understanding of the situation. I think he just wanted to help. I don't think he was hired to do anything.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't say that, but it was or asked to do it, or he volunteered to do it. I mean, he's there to do a job.
I've also heard a rumor that I don't think is brought up in this video, but there's a rumor that that rifle isn't actually his, that he borrowed it from a friend. So
yes,
if that's true, then the whole he brought it across state lines thing doesn't work either. But let's continue.
Yeah, he borrowed it.
Kyle bringing an AR-15 with him to this protest/riot. And I get it. Why bring a rifle to a peaceful protest? Well, sometimes protests turn to riots, and an AR-15 is one of the most effective self-defense tools in the world. That's why it's the most popular rifle in the country right now. I know seeing someone carrying an AR-15 makes some people uncomfortable, but also you can't blame someone for wanting the best means of protection when they're going into what could turn out to be a dangerous and volatile situation. And let's be clear, there are a lot of protesters and rioters with guns at this protest/riot. However, there is the issue of legality. Kyle is 17. In Wisconsin, any person under 18 years of age who possesses or goes armed with a dangerous weapon is guilty of a Class A misdemeanor. So on the surface, Kyle was carrying his rifle illegally, but Wisconsin law has an exception that says that this law only applies if the person has a short-barreled rifle or a short-barreled shotgun, or if the person doesn't have a certificate of accomplishment to obtain hunting approval. Kyle may or may not have this certificate. He didn't have a short-barrel shotgun and he didn't have a short-barrel rifle.
All right. Sorry, I cut you off before. What was you saying?
Oh, the
Right.
last thing I said
Yeah.
was I heard multiple times that it was a borrowed gun.
Okay, cool. So what he means when he's talking about a short barrel rifle, I'm not entirely up to speed as far as a short barrel shotgun. It may be the same, it may be different. Since I'm not a big shotgun guy, I own one, but it's not my thing. When he says short barrel rifle, what he's talking about is in the U.S. there is a law that says a short barrel rifle is like, say, a rifle. What's going on in the background?
Nothing here.
Okay.
Is there?
Yeah, I
Well,
heard.
hold on.
I don't know.
Sound like maybe a plane flew over? I can't believe it picked
No,
that
it
up.
sounded like the dog.
Oh, the
falling
dog
down the
jumped.
stairs. Okay.
No, the dog got off the couch. Sorry.
Okay.
Wow, this is a good mic.
Yeah, it's a good. Yeah, it's a very good mic.
I even turned my phone to do not disturb.
All right, so like my everybody's seen my what I call my AR pistol in one of my videos, right? It's got a 10-inch barrel, 10.5-inch barrel, or was it 11? Regardless, if you in the U.S. if you put a stock on there, that becomes a short-barreled rifle. So that's why I have the Magic arm brace on it, right? So in the U.S., a short-barreled rifle is a rifle that has a barrel smaller than 16 inches. That's a magic number. That's why most of your AR-15s are going to have a 16-inch barrel. With the ones that are considered a rifle. Let me clarify that. The ones that are considered a rifle that have a stock on them, a butt stock, are going to be at least 16 inches. Now, you can go through a bunch of red tape and register with the NFA a short-barreled rifle. You got to pay a tax stamp and an extensive background check. And it's called an NFA item, which means that they can come and say, "Hey, where's such and such rifle? We need to see that." At any point that they want to. Doesn't happen that way, but that's a rule. So anyhow, let's continue now that that's out of the way.
I don't know if he had the certificate. However, my gut tells me Wisconsin wasn't trying to carve out an exception that lets minors open carry during a protest/riot. And the other exception, for the most part, was speaking towards hunting. Then there are the people saying Kyle shouldn't have been there because there was an 8 p.m. curfew, and they'd be right. But that also means the protesters and the riots and everyone else shouldn't have also not been there. I'm not really a fan of any 17-year-old being at a protest/riot. I know 40-year-olds who don't have the mental maturity to deal with the dynamics of a riot, much less an impressionable 17-year-old. But we send 18-year-olds to fight people in other countries. So I can't really say anything to a 17-year-old who wants to help protect businesses and people in his country. Also,
I should point out that you can join the U.S. military at the age of 17.
Yep, I was going to say the same thing.
You can start basic. You're usually going to be 17 and a half, roughly. You can go to basic training. They'll send you back, and then as soon as you graduate high school, you start doing AIT and all that fun stuff. I've known guys who did this. Anything to add?
Nope, that's exactly what I was going to say. My father and my husband's father did the same thing.
Okay, great.
And there are a lot of people making a big deal about the fact that Kyle drove in from Antioch, Illinois. The drive from Antioch to Kenosha is 30 minutes. That's shorter than a lot of people's daily commute. Anthony Huber, the kid with the skateboard who was shot and killed, he lived in Silver Lake. That's a 30-minute drive to Kenosha. Gage, the guy with the gun, lived in West Allis, and that's a 49-minute drive to Kenosha. So it's safe to say that all of them should not have probably been there and just stayed home that day, but none of them did. So we're here.
I should also point out that several of the people involved in this incident were sex offenders who shouldn't have been around people under the age of 18 anyways. But that's neither here nor there.
In Wisconsin, deadly force.
Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's a big point.
Yeah.
Can only be used if a person reasonably believes that such force is required to avoid death or great bodily harm. There is no duty to retreat unless you are an initial aggressor. If you are the initial aggressor, you can only use deadly force if you reasonably believe all means to escape great bodily injury or death has been exhausted. Kyle was with a group of armed men guarding a gas station. I don't know why or how it started, but at some point, there was a confrontation between Joseph Rosenbaum. I don't know if it was just verbal, physical, or both, but there was some sort of confrontation between Kyle and Joseph.
Everything you got, shoot me. Shoot me. Bust on me, for real.
Now, at some point before the shooting, a guy by the name of McGinnis interviewed Kyle.
He was saying, bust on me. He's all using that gangster talk. He was telling him to shoot him, talking tough. A 17-year-old kid who he shouldn't have been around.
Oh man, I thought it started with a burning trash bin, but I guess that's later on.
Possibly. But now we're going to get to the original interview, which was shown in the beginning.
And then what about these guys up on the roof?
Their job is to provide overwatch and protect me also.
Gotcha.
They're protecting everybody on the roof. They're protecting each other.
Understood. And
We're running medical, and we're going in and we're getting control.
and what about, are you from the area?
I am from the area.
What brought you out here tonight? You just wanted to provide medical attention?
Provide medical attention to people that need it. If somebody's injured, like you get hurt, I'm grabbing you.
Have you encountered any issues yet thus far with law enforcement or anything like that?
So we went to the church and we de-escalated the situation, telling them they need to leave or they will be retaining or arrested.
This church right over here.
That church right there. And we stomped the fire out all the way down at the school.
Wow. Do you think it would have been different if the police had to try to stop them from setting the fire?
I feel like there would be a lot more casualties and a lot more people injured. So I think the police are fine where they're at. And that's sure the medical because EMS is not coming in. So they are not.
Yeah.
So us citizens, we need to watch out each other. Me and him are out here running and seeing if people need medical attention.
But speaking of which, we need to go check to see if somebody got hurt again.
All right.
Understood.
You want to follow us? You're fine.
Yes, sir.
After the shooting, McGinnis was interviewed by detectives where he said before Kyle reached the parking lot and ran across it, Kyle moved from the middle of Sheridan Road to the sidewalk. And that is when he saw Rosenbaum trying to engage Kyle. As Kyle was walking, Rosenbaum was trying to get closer to Kyle. When Rosenbaum advanced, Kyle did a little juke move and started running. At the same time, there were other people that were moving very quickly and they were moving towards Kyle. And that according to what he saw, Kyle was trying to evade all of these people.
That's very important. That is
Very.
very important. He was trying to avoid confrontation, and they weren't going to let that happen.
Yep, that's the first thing on the list. Avoid death or bodily harm.
Also, I want to point out it's unrelated, but if you're watching, there is a link to my Discord in the description. Please don't be a spurg, right?
Is
And
all that showing up on YouTube? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's on the YouTube.
Okay.
It'll be in the YouTube description.
Okay. Is
And,
anyone watching yet?
Yeah, we've had some people drop by. Nobody's commenting, but we've had people drop by.
Okay.
Yeah, don't be a spurg, and of course, my mods are already prepared for other things. Just FYI, just in case you think you're fucking smart. But okay, let's continue unless you have something to add.
Oh, I was just saying it's already been established that he can use force
Yeah.
because he's avoiding death or bodily harm, even right now.
All right, cool. Let's go. Let's continue.
This then results in Kyle being chased by Rosenbaum, who then throws an object at Kyle. The object misses Kyle, and because Kyle's clearly not a very fast runner, the guy catches up to Kyle and corners him. And this is when Kyle shoots him. McGinnis is the guy in the video you see standing next to Kyle trying to help Rosenbaum. McGinnis told investigators that Rosenbaum was trying to get Kyle's gun. When asked by detectives if Rosenbaum had his hands on the gun when Kyle shot, McGinnis stated that Rosenbaum definitely made a motion that was trying to grab the barrel of the gun and that Kyle pulled it away and then raised it, and then right as they came together, Kyle fired.
All right, this is something I want to point out as well, because I know that we got some people that'll talk about how they're going to take someone's gun from them. As a rule, if you try to take one of my guns from me, doesn't matter whether rifle, pistol, whatever, bad things will happen to you. Period. You're done.
Isn't that what happened with the jogger incident? The jogger that was in the empty house.
Yes.
Mm.
That's the story, is that he actually reached for one of the guy's guns. Don't do it. That's a no-go at the station. Do not reach for a guy's gun unless you think you are fucking what's that old 90s action star that used to supposedly have very quick hands.
Oh gosh, I know. It seems like Liam Neeson could do it,
It's not Liam Neeson, though.
and John Wick could do it.
No, those are more recent. We're
Yes.
talking 90s.
I know. I should know this.
He got fat. He was on South Park quite a few times, but at the time, in his prime or whatever, he supposedly had like some really fast hands. Oh God!
Was he a martial arts expert?
Had a ponytail, and he always had that way of talking. You know.
Oh yeah, Steve. No, gosh darn it! This is the fellow who did when I'm online, I can't use my brain as well. Ironically, that's why I'm here to practice. Anyhow, isn't it the guy? Is it the guy who did martial arts?
Yeah, he's a martial artist.
Oh yeah. I know exactly about whom we're speaking. I can see him right now.
Yeah, I can picture it.
His
I
eyes
know what he
up.
looks like and everything.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
But why
We
did
need someone to join the
Steven
chat.
Seagal. Steven Seagal.
Yes, Seagal. I knew it was
There you
Steve someone. Okay. Woohoo.
All right. Yeah, we got this. We figured it out. All right. So let's continue.
I think it's pretty reasonable to assume that if someone is chasing you and throwing objects at you, and then when you're cornered by them, they try to take your gun away from you, at best, you're at risk of great bodily injury, and at worst, risk of death. Also understand the aggressor in a situation can change in the blink of an eye. If Kyle was the initial aggressor, but is now running away like he is in the video, Kyle's no longer the aggressor. The person chasing him is, because Kyle running away from this guy is no longer a threat to this guy. So the dynamics of a self-defense can change instantly based on the conditions or continued actions of the parties involved. Once Kyle was running away, legally, the guy chasing him is now the aggressor. After Kyle shoots the first guy, he stays by the guy and makes a phone call saying that he just killed someone. As he's doing this, he hears, and you can clearly hear someone say, "Get that." And that's when Kyle takes off running again, because there is a group of people coming after him, as you can see here.
What a bunch of idiots, first of all.
All right. Quick housekeeping thing, and then I'll get to my point that I want to make about what he just said. I'm going to drop the StreamYard link because we have
Timothy.
Blazer.
Yo, Timothy.
If he wants to come on, I'm going to open it up to people
Okay, awesome.
if interested. There's the StreamYard link. All right, so
Thank God for video.
yes, thank God for video. And this is a tough situation because you have a group charging you with the intent to fuck you up. But when you're carrying, now keep in mind I was going to be an instructor in the state I previously lived in. So, and as I've mentioned before, I have, some odd 14 years of experience working for the government in a couple of different capacities, carrying firearms and using firearms. But one thing you have to keep in mind that I've said before, you have to keep in mind what's on the other side of that barrel. Now, he could have just busted on, the whole group, busted on him, using that guy's term. But he could have busted on him, but he was mindful of who else was on the other side of his weapon. There was a riot. There was a protest going on. He didn't want to shoot innocent people. This is also extremely key to point out that he wasn't there to just kill people.
Right. So he obviously also had control over his rifle.
Yes.
Jet Li was fast-handed disassemble a pistol guy.
Yes, but that wasn't the guy who was like supposedly the legend with the super fast hands. I'm going to actually let APOC decided to join, so I'm going to let him
awesome
on the panel.
Okay.
Add him. APOC, you are
hello.
You are now part
Can you hear me?
Yes, Liam and Charlie.
Cool. Yeah, I'm doing this on my hello. Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Very well, thanks.
We're in the middle of showing off this video regarding this incident. I don't know how much of this you've caught.
Oh, is this Kyle Richardson stuff?
Yes, Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oh, okay. Oh, Rittenhouse, sorry.
We're also, guys, if you, anyone else that's watching, if you want to join the stream after we talk about the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff, it's going to be open panel, because we're just going to talk about this and that. So you are welcome to jump in at that point. I'll probably just keep you backstage while we're talking about the Rittenhouse stuff. So unless you have something to add, APOC, we're going to continue the video.
Just my overall impression, but I guess we can continue the video. I mean, my overall impression of the whole thing is it's ridiculous that anyone would. It's ridiculous that anyone would think he wasn't acting in something.
Sure,
absolutely.
they certainly do, and they want him to fry and all this stuff. We'll get to that towards the end because there's another video after this that I want to play that's much shorter. But we're going to get that motherfucker. You hear it.
At this point, Kyle is being chased by what is essentially a mob.
Yep.
To be fair, most of the people chasing Kyle at this point don't have the full context of what happened. But as is the case in a lot of these situations, there are a lot of bad actors who will take advantage of the chaos and engage in unnecessary violence. So they hear, get him, he just shot someone. And they see a white kid with an AR-15 running down the street, and they just attack without asking any questions. Here you see someone run up to Kyle and try to hit him with something, much the same way Rosenbaum did. The only difference is Kyle is not cornered, so he continues running away from the guy and the mob. However, a few seconds later, Kyle trips and falls to the ground. When this happens, you can clearly hear someone say, "Get his ass." At this point, Kyle has nowhere to go because as soon as he falls, they try to swarm and attack him, and his back is literally against the ground. Now, if Kyle just started shooting blindly, this legally would not have been self-defense, but he doesn't. He only shoots the people who are clearly attacking him.
Anything to add?
That's brilliant. He's done nothing wrong.
Well, I've watched the way he moved too, and it's not, he's definitely learned some stuff. He's not an amateur.
Oh, the way he carries it
I mean,
shows that.
yeah, he's not just some random scrub. I mean, obviously, he's get a lot more training. He's a young guy. I'm not sure who taught him some stuff, but he's clearly went to some classes.
Did you hear that?
Respect.
Yeah, he wants to be a police officer.
Okay. Well, he's go ahead, Tim.
I think he showed restraint.
He does.
I think
You're
he showed.
breaking up.
I think he showed a lot of restraint.
Yes. I mean, people were charging him, and he kind of could have fired, but the fact that he had open place to run, and he ran, actually showed amazing restraint. Hi, Jamie.
Yeah, that's true. To play stupid games.
Yep.
Win stupid prizes. But, we're just talking about the legalities from an actual lawyer, because I know there's a lot of armchair quarterbacks running their fucking suck. And,
well, they're jealous.
Experts.
I know. Who would run after a guy, not only carrying a gun, but who has just shot someone? So he's shown that he's willing to use it if he needs to.
People who have a belly, people who've never actually been hurt.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Like in theory, someone who has a gun has already shot that motherfucker. You are retarded to chase them.
Absolutely.
You have two choices, really, unless you're a mental retard.
Well, and there you go. About
face and exit stage right, or pull out your own gun and shoot that motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm not saying. I know we get retards in here who think I'm saying something, but
nope.
Kyle should not have been shot, and he wasn't. Thank God.
Yeah. He
was in the right to bust on everyone who's come after him at this point. Anything to add, Apocrypha?
Well, I mean, just as an observation that's been made by others, which is we don't see this kind of analysis about any of the other shooting deaths. We haven't seen this kind of analysis we haven't seen this kind of analysis or diligence when it came to the Portland killing or any of the other killings.
Nope.
Nothing. Zero. Zilch. And this is so clearly an attack, a symbolic attack on people who would dare defend themselves against the politically motivated mob. It's not even funny. That's the thing. I mean, we're discussing the legal. Well, they're not even trying to frame him. They're trying to.
No. I said they're trying to frighten us, frighten others.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but see that what they don't understand though, and I've said this before, is that the more they do this, the more people arm up and get ammo and wait because it's like, yeah, okay, you might get people to not show up to these protests armed, but what you're not going to do, what is not going to happen is once you actually cross lines, you think they're going to still be afraid? Because, as I said before, if you have death in front of you and death behind you, well,
you have no choice.
What are you going to, you have no choice, and you're going to move forward. You're going to take out the death in front of you and risk the death behind you because it hasn't caught up to you yet.
Sorry.
No, I mean, my and this is all summed up in something very wise my father said to me a very long time ago when I asked him about this kind of thing. It was before I went into the service, and I said, what happens if I get into a situation where, I have to do something you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you know, and he just looked at me and he said, it's better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right.
I have one question.
Sure.
Because it seems like this could be a legal solution, not in this case. This is in general. Who has the power to deputize people to protect these
County
businesses? That's what I thought. A sheriff.
County sheriff can do that.
So why aren't they doing this at this point?
Because Wisconsin is not that kind of state.
Okay.
Well, the sheriffs are pretty blue. Plus mass deputization is opens the sheriff up for all sorts of things. So unless, I mean, it's been done. It was done. It's been done. It's been done in other situations. So it's not like it hasn't been done. But yeah, they're really loath to do that.
But I feel like we're getting close to where it's not only necessary, but wouldn't you think that would stave off some of these attacks eventually?
I don't know. I think that what's going on right now is that people are keeping their powder dry until the election as much as possible.
Sure.
And that what's happening, and the reason that the left is going so far is that it's the same situation I've been in before, where somebody is trying to provoke me, and I'm in a situation where that person who's trying to provoke me has some kind of connection with police or power or something. And I know that. And so they're trying to provoke me. So I'll respond and then I'll get taken down by the authorities.
Mm-hmm.
And that's precisely what these people are doing. They're essentially engaging in what they're doing is they're walking up to you and they're poking you and saying, you know, hey, what are you, a pussy? What are you, a pussy? What are you, a pussy? They're not actually hitting you. They're just poking you. And maybe not even poking you. They're just, you know, yelling at you.
Yeah.
And if you respond with physical force, then the authorities are going to do to you what even in that situation, you're in the wrong technically.
Mm-hmm.
In this situation, he's not even in the wrong, and he's being railroaded. So it's just, that's the situation we're in. They're provoking people, and they want they're salivating over the idea of, you know, actual armed, you know, militias going out and putting down these riots, because if they do, they'll have every political justification to bring down lethal force against those people.
Correct. So let's try to get through these videos. This one's almost done because there's
several
minutes where he shills for the NRA, and we're going to stop those there. I got one from this guy, Colio Noir, and I got one from a donut operator that I want to bring up, but see if he adds anything new. But we're going to continue.
It was a group of people attempting to attack him because they felt that it was justified, because all they know is that this guy just shot one of their people, so they're trying to do something about it. However, from Kyle's perspective, he just shot a guy who he felt was trying to kill him. And this mob thinks he murdered that guy in cold blood, and now they want to kill him also. And he can't get away because he's on the ground with nowhere to go. And all of this is being confirmed in Kyle's mind, because right now there are literally people running towards him trying to physically attack him. He immediately gets attacked almost simultaneously by two guys, one of which is using a skateboard to attack him.
Gosh, that's good control.
Yeah.
No, a skateboard is not a weapon, but it can be used as one.
It's not a great firing position, but you know, you work with what you got, you know, and he did very well. He made very good movements. And clip there. Just thought I'd point that out.
Yes, like it.
Bodily injury or death. And this guy is clearly trying to hit him with the skateboard. Not to mention, he's being attacked by multiple people at once. So Kyle shoots the guy with the skateboard and the other guy attacking him. Now, this is when Gage runs up on Kyle, but Kyle points the gun at him and he stops for a second. And then for whatever reason, he continues to run towards Kyle again. And so Kyle shoots him.
Stay back, you morons.
But here's the kicker. This guy had a gun in his hand.
Oh,
Yep.
Oh,
You believe
damn.
what his friend posted on Facebook where he says the kid shot Gage as he drew his weapon and Gage retreated with his gun in hand. I talked to Gage. To his only regret was not killing the kid and hesitating to pull the gun before emptying the entire mag into him. So again, legally, this is self-defense. Yes, people attacking Kyle think he just murdered someone, but they are attacking him, not defending themselves from him to prevent death or great bodily injury. So under the letter of the law, they are the aggressor at that moment. And because they have disparity of force, i.e. way more people than him, and weapons or objects being used as weapons, Kyle is legally justified to use deadly force to stop them. So as a lawyer, unless some new information comes out that shows Kyle was the initial aggressor and he had a way to retreat, legally, I don't think he'll be convicted of murder. Personally, I wish he would have just stayed home. Hell, I wish they all would have just stayed home, but they didn't. Yes, Kyle probably broke the law in that he was a minor open carrying a firearm. However, Kyle breaking that law does not mean he forfeits his right to self-defense if it is justified. Much the same way, if I'm a felon and have a gun and I use that gun to protect myself during a home invasion, I'm still going to go to jail, but not for murder. It'll be for me having a gun as a felon because my use of deadly force with that gun, even though it was illegal for me to have, was justified. And here, from the looks of it legally, this was justified. I don't like it because it resulted in people being shot, but legally, his use of force was justified. Because of this, I think Kyle is basically going to plead to the lesser charge of open carrying a firearm as a minor. But I don't see him being convicted of murder. You know how?
No, hang on. You missed the beginning where he quotes Wisconsin law. He's a lawyer. Just FYI.
I know, but I understand. I'm not sure.
Going to get, this isn't like any sort of
no.
statement.
Yes, it is. Well, hold on. I've heard both sides of this, and the lawyers that say he was illegally open carrying did not read the exception clause.
We already covered that.
Yes.
Well, then
you missed the beginning.
Well, then what's
the deal?
Well, okay? So what's the deal with that?
At this point, this guy this guy did this on August 28th with all the information, and I'm not sure. One of the caveats was, does Kyle have a certificate? And I'm betting he does.
You don't.
Yeah.
Okay, so
as
far as
August 28th, he's already looked at the law. He's already mentioned the exceptions to the law,
which is a long gun.
Yes, that's one of them.
He said that rule is based on a short-barreled rifle and a short-barreled shotgun. Yeah,
right.
We've covered it.
So then, why is he saying it's illegal?
There's something to it. I think it's because of his age.
Yes, it is only his age.
It's only his age. Yeah.
But he has a certificate. The age won't matter, I believe.
But this is confusing because what I read in the Wisconsin statutes was that between the ages of 15 and 17, given the exception, it is legal to carry a long gun as long as it's not a short-barreled rifle or shotgun.
I'm going to play the beginning.
But you might have to have a certificate. That's all.
So I've received a lot of messages from people wanting me to get.
This is a lawyer who has already looked into it, and with the information he had as of August 28th.
Give my take on the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. Everything I'm about to say right now is based on all the information that is available right now as of August 28th, 2020. A lot of people are saying that Kyle Rittenhouse went to Kenosha looking for trouble, that he was a vigilante, that he was trying to play cop. And there are some people who are saying that he was just there to help protect property and protesters. So let's hear what he has to say on why he was there.
What are you doing out here? Obviously, you're armed and you're in front of this business we saw burning last night. So what's up?
So people are getting injured, and our job is to protect this business. And part of my job is also help people. If there's somebody hurt, I'm running into harm's way. That's why I have my rifle, because I need to protect myself, obviously. But I also have my med kit.
A lot of people feel some type of way about Kyle bringing an AR-15 with him to this protest/riot. And I get it. Why bring a rifle to a peaceful protest? Well,
all right. Also, speaking of feeling some type of way, I apologize, audience, for replaying this, but it's important that my panel all be on the same page. So here we go.
Sometimes protests turn to riots. And an AR-15 is one of the most effective self-defense tools in the world. That's why it's the most popular rifle in the country right now. I know seeing someone carrying an AR-15 makes some people uncomfortable, but also you can't blame someone for wanting the best means of protection when they're going into what could turn out to be a dangerous and volatile situation. And let's be clear, there are a lot of protesters and rioters with guns at this protest/riot. However, there is the issue of legality. Kyle is 17. In Wisconsin, any person under 18 years of age who possesses or goes armed with a dangerous weapon is guilty of a Class A misdemeanor. So on the surface, Kyle was carrying his rifle illegally, but Wisconsin law has an exception that says that this law only applies if the person has a short-barreled rifle or a short-barreled shotgun, or if the person doesn't have a certificate of accomplishment to obtain hunting approval. Kyle may or may not have this certificate. He didn't have a short-barrel shotgun and he didn't have a short-barrel rifle. I don't know if he had the certificate. However, my gut tells me Wisconsin wasn't trying to carve out an exception that lets minors open carry during a protest/riot. And the other exception, for the most part, was speaking towards hunting. Then there are the people saying Kyle shouldn't have been there.
All right, so I'm going to leave that. So they're probably going to try to get him on a misdemeanor just because, to be honest. And of course, it also hinges on whether or not he had that certificate that we were talking about.
Yeah, I'm betting he does, though.
Anything else to add?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Did you see what Lycan wrote? Leftists will become martyrs for their cause. Yep, that's already happened in Portland. Yeah, that was the Portland shooting.
All right, so this next guy is Donut Operator, who I also recommend you watch. He puts out some good stuff. Interesting facial hair there.
Yeah.
Maybe a mullet under that hat. Who knows? But
and that's Donut Operator.
yes, Donut Operator.
So he's a cop.
Yeah, he may be a policeman or a former policeman. I'm not
Yeah.
sure about his.
I think I've seen him before. I think he is a former police officer.
But, all right.
Now that I'm looking at him.
So let's see. I think this came out on the 28th as well. But this is where he adds that I think he got one of the guys was a sex offender that wasn't allowed to be around people under the age of 18 and all that fun stuff.
Oh, the losers who were there.
I haven't seen all of this, so I've just seen sort of like the first 30 seconds. So let's see what he has to say.
Here, welcome to Volume 2 of The Adventures of Kyle Rittenhouse. Last night, about an hour after I released Volume 1 of The Adventures of Kyle Rittenhouse, my video was taken down by YouTube. It was just cruising along at about 120,000 views after an hour, and YouTube found it to be ineligible and removed it altogether from my channel. I appealed it, tweeted YouTube, and was like, hey, what the heck, man? And then they put it up like 10 minutes later behind 2 age restrictions. I'm glad it's up. They just kind of killed it there for a little bit. But don't worry, if you come to my stream tonight, I'm not going to be raging about YouTube. We're going to talk about the criminal complaint that was filed against Kyle Rittenhouse today. And we're also going to correct some of the things that I said yesterday, because I will always admit when I am wrong. I will never double down on bullshit like a lot of people you see on Twitter. First, I have no idea.
Or on YouTube on their community walls.
Yep.
And videos. Anyhow, let's continue.
Why I said Jacob Blake died. I guess I've been watching way too much CNN. He's actually still alive, and he still has an active warrant against him for sexually assaulting someone, and they're thinking that he is going to be paralyzed from the waist down. The latest thing I've seen about him is police officers did have him handcuffed to the bed because he still has an active warrant for doing something really bad. Now check out what was filed yesterday. This is the state of Wisconsin criminal complaint against Kyle Rittenhouse. He has been charged with 6 counts. First-degree reckless homicide, first-degree recklessly endangering safety, attempt first-degree intentional homicide, first-degree recklessly endangering safety, and possession of a dangerous weapon by a person under 18. Let's go over these a little bit. Things to you that I've learned since my video last night. The first count, which is first-degree reckless homicide, states that Kyle did recklessly cause the death of Joseph Rosenbaum.
All right.
Nope.
So these are the charges that they're trying to throw at Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
there's no way in hell that's first degree, even
That's
under
right.
a cursory examination.
Yep.
Well,
I mean,
you're
even under a cursory examination, it's not first degree, because God, Linwood is going to have a field day with this. I mean, first degree requires that you had an intent to kill a particular person,
Exactly.
and that you formed that intent before you pulled the trigger.
And they've already established. They already established by talking to him why he was there. He was there with a medical kit. There was no intention to harm anybody.
Yeah, and plus the lawyer that you and APOC and I had talked about this prior. The lawyer that volunteered to help him out is pretty freaking solid.
Awesome.
Well, he's the guy who got Nick Sandman the settlement for the defamation.
Oh man, he's going to clean up this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he said he's doing this one. As soon as he heard about this, he said he was going to do it pro bono.
Awesome. I bet you someone will pay him.
I think based on the tone of his voice and the way he was acting on the interview I saw him in, I don't think he cares.
Oh no, he doesn't care. Look how much money he just made with Sandman case. That guy's set for life.
All right, to continue.
Rosenbaum was the first guy that Kyle shot in a video last night. This is the guy that threw something at him, ran at him, lunged at him, and then ended up getting shot. There's been a screenshot circulating the internet of the Wisconsin Department of Corrections showing that he was a registered sex offender, and I couldn't find it last night. There's a reason for that. It's been taken down because he died, but the Arizona Department of Corrections still has it up. Joseph D. Rosenbaum. 2002, he was convicted of 2 counts of sexual conduct with a minor, and in 2014, he was convicted of interfering with a monitoring device. During his time in prison, he committed a little bit over 40 violations. I also said last night he took a bullet to the head and that's what killed him. He did take a grazing wound to the head, but it was other shots that killed him. According to Dr. Kelly of the Milwaukee Medical Examiner's Office, he had a gunshot wound to the right groin which fractured his pelvis, a gunshot wound in the back which perforated his right lung and liver, a gunshot wound in the left hand, a superficial gunshot wound to his lateral left eye, and a grazed gunshot wound to the right side of his forehead. When he shoots Rosenbaum, if you'll remember last night, he ran around the back of a car and then he pulls his cell phone out. And I said, well, maybe he's calling 911 because someone said call 911. He actually didn't call 911. According to reports, a detective spoke with a Dominic Black on August 26th. Dominic stated that he received a call from his friend Kyle Rittenhouse at 11:46 p.m. in which the defendant stated that he shot someone. I think my amazing mod team also found out what started the confrontation between Rosenbaum and Kyle in the first place. Twitter user Drew Hernandez tweeted, a Good Samaritan put out a trash can fire that rioters were about to push into police squad cars. Rioters were then triggered by it and went after the gas station in retaliation. From what I understand, the person with the fire extinguisher was Kyle.
Yep. I remember that.
I did not know.
Yeah, that's the part that I said in the beginning. I thought it started with the trash bin.
Okay, so that makes sense then. Okay. Was connecting the dots. All right, let's continue. And you also wonder why people, because I see people bitching and complaining that, oh, white kid with the AR-15, the cops just let him go. Well, because he was helping the cops. He wasn't there to riot, and they probably knew that. You know, people have eyes, guys. I know it's crazy that people actually pay attention and understand nuance sometimes. Sometimes.
Shocking.
Hard to tell if that's Kyle in that video, but in another live stream from Facebook, you can clearly see Kyle run by the camera at the same gas station holding a fire extinguisher. Because the fire was put out, it caused this little confrontation we're about to watch. Drew Hernandez also tweeted out, here's more footage from the Kenosha last night when Kyle Rittenhouse shot rioters. Rioters were very stupidly attempting to challenge militias armed rifles at a gas station before the mob left to the dealership. You can clearly see Mr. Rosenbaum leading a pack of lemmings.
I mean, look at how they're holding their rifles. That's a lot of control.
You could tell who Rosenbaum was because he's the one pushing and trying to fight people armed with rifles. So that spills over into the dealership, and that's when he starts chasing Kyle. Second thing he's charged with is first-degree recklessly endangering safety. This one says he recklessly endangered the safety of Richard McGinnis, who we haven't talked about yet. The third one is first-degree intentional homicide. This is when he shot Anthony Huber, which is the skateboarder. The fourth one is attempted first-degree intentional homicide. This was against Gage Grosskreutz. Yesterday I talked about, I didn't know if he had his gun on him before or after he got shot. It looks like he ran up to Kyle with his gun. Kyle pointed a gun at him, and then Gage put his hands up with his gun in his hand.
I couldn't tell. Yeah, there's this one clip that I saw. I couldn't tell if he had the gun in his hand the whole time or if he was pulling it out of his pants. But regardless, he had a fucking gun.
Mm-hmm. Might show intent.
Well, that kind of, especially since he was a felon who shouldn't have had one.
Exactly.
All right, let's go.
And there was some hesitation. It looked like Gage lunged for him, and that's when Kyle shot him and blew his bicep off. There's a lot of people on the internet saying, well, Kyle was defending himself. The dude had a gun, and he was getting his ass kicked by an angry crowd. In these two pictures right here, you can see that he did have his gun out and in his hand when he ran up to Kyle. The fifth count was first-degree recklessly endangering safety. This one says that he recklessly endangered the safety of an unknown male. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it was probably the guy that jumped on him, he shot at and missed, who ran off. And the sixth charge that we talked about, possession of a dangerous weapon by a person under 18, because he was 17. Here's the person we were talking about earlier, which is Richard McGinnis. He was behind Rosenbaum when Rosenbaum was running at Kyle. McGinnis stated that Kyle moved from the middle of Sheridan Road to the sidewalk, and that's when he saw Rosenbaum initially tried to engage the defendant. McGinnis stated that as the defendant was walking, Rosenbaum was trying to get closer to the defendant. When Rosenbaum advanced, the defendant did a juke move and started running. McGinnis stated there were other people that were moving very quickly. McGinnis stated that they were moving towards the defendant. McGinnis said that according to what he saw, the defendant was trying to evade these individuals. What McGinnis, our new character to the story, is telling us is that there was a crowd going after Kyle with Rosenbaum in the lead. McGinnis described the point where the defendant had reached the car. McGinnis described that the defendant had the gun in a low ready position, meaning that he had the gun raised and pointed downward. The butt of the gun would have been at the angle downwards from the shoulder. McGinnis stated that the defendant brought the gun up. McGinnis stated that he stepped back and he thinks the defendant fired 3 rounds in rapid succession. McGinnis said when the first round went off, he thought it hit the pavement. McGinnis felt something on his leg, and his first thought was wondering whether he had gotten shot. McGinnis was behind and slightly to the right of Rosenbaum in the line of fire when the defendant shot. So since he was in the line of fire, that's where that recklessly endangering charge comes from against Kyle. McGinnis stated that the first round went into the ground and then the second shot went off. The defendant actually had the gun aimed at Rosenbaum. McGinnis stated he did not hear the two exchange any words. McGinnis stated that the unarmed guy, Rosenbaum, was trying to get the defendant's gun. McGinnis demonstrated by extending both of his hands in a quick grabbing motion and did that as a visual on how Rosenbaum tried to reach for the defendant's gun. Detective Caprice indicated that he asked McGinnis if Rosenbaum had his hands on the gun when the defendant shot. McGinnis said that he definitely made a motion that he was trying to grab the barrel of the gun. McGinnis stated that right as they came together, the defendant fired. The third video that your complainant reviewed showed the defendant running northbound on Sheridan Road after he shot Rosenbaum. A group of several people began running northbound on Sheridan Road behind the defendant. Person can be heard yelling what sounds like beat him up. Your complainant reviewed a fourth video that showed a different angle of the defendant running northbound. In this video, a person can be heard yelling, get him, get the dude. The defendant continues to run northbound. On the video, a male can be heard saying something to the effect of, what did he do? Another male can be heard responding something to the effect of, just shot someone. Then a male can be heard yelling, get his ass. The defendant then trips and falls to the ground. We saw that in last night's video. Kyle was trying to get away from the angry crowd chasing him. That's when he falls on the ground, and the next 2 shootings take place. The second person, who was later identified as Anthony Huber, approached the defendant on the ground on his back. Huber had a skateboard in his right hand. When Huber reaches the defendant, it appears that he is reaching for the defendant's gun with his left hand as the skateboard makes contact with the defendant's left shoulder. Huber appears to be trying to pull the gun away from the defendant. The defendant rolls towards his side, and as Huber appears to be trying to grab the gun is pointed at Huber's body. The defendant then fires 1 round, which can be heard on the video. Huber staggers away, taking several steps, then collapses to the ground. The medical examiner later stated that he was shot directly in the heart. That's why he only got a few steps and then fell over. When the defendant shot Huber, Grosskreutz freezes and ducks and takes a step back. Grosskreutz puts his hands in the air. Grosskreutz then moves toward the defendant, who aims his gun at Grosskreutz and shoots him, firing 1 shot. Grosskreutz was shot in the...
And the good thing is the majority of this is also covered by the video. So
yes,
it's people, witnesses describing exactly what happens in the video. GLM.
Hi, GLM.
Not sure if that's the real GLM or a sock. I don't know. I'm not involved in any of that bullshit. It's not my business.
Mhm.
But welcome, regardless. Okay, so continuing.
Right arm. Grosskreutz appears to be holding a handgun in his right hand when he is shot. There's the criminal complaint filed against Kyle. I'm really intrigued to see what happens during this trial. I'll definitely keep up with it and post updates. The internet is pretty divided on this one. You got half of the people saying, well, he was just defending himself against violent rioters. And you got another half saying, well, no, that was basically a mass shooting. He just killed 2 people and wounded another. But hey, that's why we're here. So we can have a calm, rational discussion about this in the comments below. I'll be streaming over at twitch.tv/donutoperator as soon as this video is released. I hope to see you all there. I'm not going to rage about YouTube and other things tonight. Everyone, please have a fantastic day. Also, subscribe to my vlog channel. Whacker.
If you like them, subscribe. All right.
Well, go on.
I don't think. Well, I mean, I think you just reiterated all the things that we in more detail as to what we were talking about, which is there's so much exculpatory evidence that it's like it's ridiculous. I mean, the only possible charge that might stick is the misdemeanor.
Yep.
Which is like, so what? I mean,
Now, remember, we're talking about a lot of people who believe Trump said all Mexicans are murderers. So there you go.
That's my second point. Talking about how people, quote unquote, believe is only relevant in knowing what they believe, not relevant in assessing
the facts,
the truth or the outcome of the situation. It's not. I mean, I'll be the first one to admit that I definitely have a little bit of bias in Kyle Rittenhouse's favor because of my frustration with all of the antics that have been going on, and all of
the same.
So it's the kind of thing where I'm like, I wish there were 1,000 Kyles that were out there right now doing what he did.
That was Marshall, or my question about, what did I say? Getting more people out there legally. That was why I questioned that, because that's what I'd like to see.
Well, however, the problem with that is that's how I feel. That's how I feel. But I feel that would be a great thing, but I know that it's probably a bad thing. And
it's because it's sort of what they want, but there's a part of me that thinks that would make them go away eventually. But then, Lycan made a good point that they're there to become martyrs.
It's they don't want to die. They don't think they're gonna. They don't think they're going to die. They haven't Okay, you haven't met 20-something felons who think they're invincible.
No. I absolutely know that. I absolutely have. Remember,
they just do. Yeah, that's true. But I'm just saying I don't think they're not. If you listen to them talk, if you watch the interview with Rinhold, the guy who was the Portland killer, if you watch them, it's like they genuinely believe that the individuals involved aren't going in there to intentionally martyr themselves. They're trying to provoke a response, but I don't think they believe. None of these guys, I think, went in there thinking I'm going to get killed tonight and it'll be for the greater good. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but I got an impression by the 48-year-old, the Rinhold guy. I got a totally different impression from him. The jig was up on him. He was a true believer, and he went death by cop. My opinion.
Yeah, you say suicide by cop.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, and I don't think we'll ever know. In my, you have to understand that people talk a real good game.
Yes, trust me. I know that. I was victimized by one, if you all remember.
Yeah. No, I know.
Yes,
I'm not saying you don't know what you're talking about. I'm saying I disagree with your analysis.
This is my opinion from watching him and his body
Right.
language in the Vox,
Right.
he knew at that point the jig was up, and to go up against all those cops, he had to know he was going to die at that point.
I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking at that moment.
Of course not.
But-
I'm just saying,
But
he was a true believer.
like I said, I don't know if I agree with that, but that's beside the point. What I'm saying is I'll grant that there might be a few true believers. Maybe Rinhall was one of them. But my point is the vast majority of these rioters are basically just agitators. They're out there with the buzz on for being part of the mob and doing their thing.
Right. But you don't think that having more people out there wouldn't make them think, and with these two now dead, that they won't think, oh shit, we might actually die. The young one.
You shouldn't be. Well, I don't think I have to tell you how easy it is for a young person to be completely capable of totally ignoring the evidence all around them.
No.
I mean,
look at the far left right now. So I get it, but
I didn't want to get into that rabbit hole, though. I just wanted to say what I don't see is actual martyrs, like Joan of Arc martyrs, going on per se in this. Maybe there might be one or two because their back is against the wall and they don't see any other way out and all that. That's possible. But as far as going into it with the intention of dying for a cause on purpose as a show, as a way to shift political opinion, I haven't seen that. Like, that's what a martyr is, and that's why I'm saying I don't think they're martyrs.
Right, but I'm saying that's what my point is. Once they put out the weight, the threat, the possibility that you are going to die, now they have to think about it.
Well, now you think about it, but I don't think they do. Maybe they'll arm up a little more, but I don't think they're afraid of mass violence against them because it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened, and they've been pushing over 220 riots so far, and none of them have been met with lethal force. There have only been isolated incidents, a few isolated incidents of people, and Kyle Rittenhouse is the only one where they were actually taken out by someone who was defending themselves.
Yep. Well, that's what I'm saying. Now they're precedent.
I understand that, and you understand that, but I'm saying I don't think there's. What I'm saying is we're talking about a mob, and I don't think we should assume that there's some kind of pseudo-religious martyr complex going on there.
Well, that's what I think. Again, then that they will back off. That if they're not martyrs and they now see that people are serious about protecting these buildings or what have you, they'll say, "Ooh, if I go out tonight, I might actually die."
But they don't see that. What they see is one kid who was a white supremacist, who was violent, and is their enemy, who killed people and et cetera, et cetera. They don't see that. They don't. If they knew what we know about just how armed up people are getting ready people are to jump across the line, and that the only reason they haven't jumped across the line is because they're waiting for the election in November.
Well, I know they are. They definitely are.
But I don't think that the left knows that because everything I've seen seems to indicate that they believe that the right will. I shouldn't say the left and right. The communist bullshit. That the normal American citizens won't respond to their tactics with violence.
Oh, they falsely believe that, yes.
And I don't think they understand that the only reason that people haven't yet is because of the November election. But so that's what I'm saying. I don't think
But now
I guess what I'm saying is I'm not giving them that much credit, I guess is my point. I don't think there's aware as you would suggest.
I agree with you that obviously there's mob mentality, but then there's pre-mob mentality. And I'm hoping that this gets to their brains, the pre-mobs, that, hey, this is what happens. This is the potential now. I'm just saying, hopefully less people will get killed. I'm afraid I think more people will, but.
Well, I mean, after the incident in Rochester, New York, which happened after Kyle Rittenhouse, I don't think that's the case. You had a situation where, a whole bunch of people walk into a diner and physically assault all the people inside, yelling at them and telling them to salute, all of this.
Right.
So,
there was no one guarding it. Was there? Were there guns guarding it? I agree.
No, but they didn't.
I think some of them.
No, but they didn't. But they didn't know if anyone inside was armed.
Right, but they didn't know. And they made a good choice that they probably weren't.
But you're see, what I'm saying is you're ascribing too much analysis.
I know. I understand. I know.
I don't think it's that complicated. I think it's just. I'm not saying there aren't people who are talking about this or thinking about it. I'm saying I think that there is a huge lack of awareness. That's all, and as to what's really going on.
Mm-hmm. And there is. But I'm hoping this incident shows that will give them some awareness.
Hey, Sonny, the nuclear wolf is here.
Sonny, hey.
We got a bunch of people up in here now.
Hi, Seeker.
Hey guys, I'm so sorry, but I have to go.
Okay.
I appreciate you including me on the stream, though. Thank you. It's good to talk to both of you.
I'm glad. Oh, you too. I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Yeah.
One of your friends recently.
Yes. We're still rolling, and you have time to come back, and you have the link, so come on back. But I'm not sure how much longer we're going to go. We're going to talk about other topics, not just this. So we're also going to
I understand.
Open the panel up to anybody, as long as I don't do drama. Just FYI, anybody listening, I don't involve me. I know some people in here don't get along. So don't start any of that here. Do that on your own channels.
Yeah, reasoned discussion.
Yep.
So maybe I'll just, if they want to come on, I'll just have them on one at a time or something. But all right, Apoc, thank you very much for being here. Like I said, you're always welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Apoc, thank you so much.
See you.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to now post the link. We'll see if anyone comes backstage.
Hi, Real Names.
Yeah, Real Names not given. And very, something about them is familiar to me. I just don't know who they are. That makes sense.
Totally makes sense. Oh, Holland? Okay, Sonny. I'm sure they deserved it.
Yeah. Just make sure you spare Jack Napier, please. He's based. So, help him evacuate first before you nuke it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We have to clear the cities before we take them out.
All right. So the StreamYard link, if anybody wants to come on, you're welcome to. So I know we had some other topics we were thinking about covering. Now that
general red pill stuff.
All right. So any questions? Anything you want to bring up?
That was your job, but
my job.
I'm just kidding. Let me see what I wrote. I sent you a text.
I think you wanted me to come up with stuff, but I just woke up, so it wasn't happen.
We both hadn't had our coffee, but I said topics could be anything like the vid.
I don't want to talk about that.
We can't talk about that?
I don't want to talk. That's
no coronavirus talk?
That's been beaten to death and then beaten again.
Okay, yeah, my only topic on that was how interesting it is that as a psychiatric nurse, I'm getting more fallout from that than my husband, who's an ICU nurse. I'm seeing more fallout. In other words, suicidal, which we've had a few suicides. And you're seeing all kinds of major mental illnesses break down, people with major illnesses. It's been terrible. More victims than my husband, who's in ICU. That's all I have to say.
I mean, that is an interesting thing to point out.
I haven't heard anyone talk about how bad this is affecting people psychologically. Or I haven't met anyone who's actually seen it. And then this may or may not have been brought up because I don't focus too much on the virus anymore. But my husband, a lot of times, will just sit there as an ICU nurse and watch someone sit on the other side of a glass with no oxygen, no nothing, just waiting to test negative for the virus. So that, and there's another, count of, and a lot of money passing for someone sitting there in an ICU room. Yeah, it's bad. But anyhow, there was that. And then I said, talking about what people's different thoughts on what the red pill is, red pill rage, anything else related to it. Or BLM, Antifa, and their nonsense. That's what I wrote.
Right. Well, the red pill rage is something I did want to talk with you a little bit about. It's and trauma. I mean, they're pretty much related, but
very much so.
Typically, the trauma happens, and then people go red pill, and they continue, feeling that rage.
Yes. It's a part of the grieving cycle.
It is.
That is the second part of the grieving cycle.
And a lot of people get stuck in that, like they never move forward.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you shouldn't,
some people online are stuck in it.
Yeah, I mean, even guys like myself who are pretty well adjusted. I mean, I have, minor PTSD from other things, but also just a little twinge of barely there anger. But you get over it. That's the thing. Even my PTSD stuff is completely under control, really.
It does fall into the background over time. Time is one of the best cures out there. Yes, GLM, there is a lot of behavioral stuff going on. And very few are talking about it.
Yeah. I talked about this yesterday, but not in public or not on a stream, but with Rose. It's a bunch of people they were cooped up inside, told not to leave. If you leave, and you're going to spread this virus, and everybody's going to die, and it's going to be your fault, and you're a bad person if you don't wear a goofy ass mask and shit.
Taking away all control.
Yeah, and they're just constantly being beat down with this. Like they turn it, they have nothing better to do. They turn a TV on. Some guys on the TV talking about how deadly this virus is and stay home, and then you try, you could get on YouTube and everybody's talking about the same thing. You can't get away from it, and then you can barely make it out to the grocery store to get your fucking groceries. Yeah. It just beats you down, and it's just relentless. It never goes away because it's right in everybody's fucking face.
Yeah. Exactly. I had a point that ran through my head, but it went away. I'm trying to learn how to read and talk at the same time. It's not easy for an autist.
Right.
But yeah, people are struggling more than they think. Oh, that's what I was going to say. And God knows if I'm allowed to say this, but anyone who tries to make a logical point or a medically based point on YouTube gets scrubbed.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all, but I've seen it. I know what's going on at my hospital, and it's very frightening.
Well, you know that these people are right because they're scrubbing it. That's exactly why. Because if they were wrong, everybody would just point and laugh.
That's exactly right.
These morons, haha, But since what they're talking about is right.
Yep.
They have to be censored and deleted, basically.
Yeah.
And I think it's a mass psychosis because I was talking to some people from Europe, me and APOC, and talked about these people in a non-red pill community because, have other stuff besides red pill shit that I'm into. And they're all from like Europe, like Austria, shit like that. And, I challenged the corona, the beer flu narrative, and boy, they lost their shit.
Wow.
They lost their shit on me.
Wow. There's cult indoctrination right there. That's what they're doing. Yeah, social distance versus physical distance. That's right, Seeker.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But getting back to red
sorry.
trauma and stuff, no, it's actually good stuff. It's stuff I wanted to say and just never had the opportunity. Sometimes I'll do a stream or a video and I'll be like, man, I should have said this or that. It'll come to me afterwards.
Yes.
So yeah. So sometimes I have to bring it up on another show or another video. It's just neither here nor there. But yeah, I mean, if you go into certain Discord servers, for instance, there is a lot of red pill rage. Now, granted, a lot of those guys now are incels. I've talked about this on another show, but for instance, the Monkey Business server, I was there when it was really good. And then the incels showed up. Now, I don't think all of them are like true incels. I think if they put work in and stuff like that, that they would be fine with the ladies. But there are people who I would consider to be true incels. But the point is they're angry. And they take it out on, and like having you and Rose in my server, I'm trying to make sure I don't have any of those types of people in my server because they'd be angry at your mere presence in the server.
But I don't mind them if they would come. That would be fine with me.
I don't want drama in my server.
There wouldn't be. Not related to me anyway.
I don't want to have to be. I'm not a white knight for anyone. I just don't want drama.
Oh, right. No, I completely understand. But that's how I came into the community to begin with, is I went through hell. And I just...
Well, you have to, as a woman, if you go into the MGTOW.
You know what?
Deal with MGTOW guys.
Exactly. But that's also what men do to other men. And most women can't handle it. They take it personally.
True. And there is a channel for text and a voice channel for debate. And that's fine. I'm fine with that. The point is, I just don't like the spurgy shit.
Well, like you said, you don't have to like everyone. Just behave.
Yeah. Well, there's already people in that server who are pretty much enemies. But right now they're behaving. So
good.
We'll see where the future goes.
Well, I think I always say this. I think strife is good. Disagreements are good. You learn how to navigate through them. Right. So it's you learn from it regardless.
Yes. Again, that market of ideas thing.
Exactly. And how could I behave differently? What could I have said? God, I lost the word. But neutrally, how to stay neutral and still make your point. How to not add emotion into your words. There are all kinds of ways of handling things more clinically instead of emotionally.
Very true. Very true. Something I had to learn, but as you get older, it becomes a little more easy, but
yes, it does. Take it from an old lady.
I deal with people who I want to punch in the face, but I remain professional. Part of the job.
GLM
job.
Yeah, I'm sorry. GLM wrote angry about what? And as concerned with red pill rage. And the way I understand it is either they've been brutally harmed by a female, or they're not able to date women, like they get shut down all the time, or women are rude to them. Because some women can't be nice about turning someone down anymore. They're nasty. And you have that happen to you enough. And GLM, that will affect your ego. And some of these guys are now going through breakup grief. They've been, I don't know if you've heard the term divorce raped, and they're going to have a lot of anger. It's part of the grief cycle. The first thing is denial, and then the next thing is grief. And I mean, the next thing is anger. So, you know, they're going to go through that. But so many get stuck there and stay angry. And that's the problem. Yes, Seeker, exactly. Rage is normal, but you have to know how to contain it. And you move past what's affecting, you know, if it's affecting you that much emotionally, that you say you can't even speak to a woman anymore because you're so angry. That crosses into not normal at all.
All right. Shall
Pretty
we,
much GLM, yes. In this
shall we explain that deeper? Because she's only familiar with the what I will call the purple pilosphere. So maybe
oh, okay.
kind
Well,
of
then absolutely.
tell her, yeah, explain it to her if you would.
You mean from the red pill, starting from the
Yes,
red
like MGTOW and red pill and all that shit.
pill? Okay, gosh, I'll see if I can do. This is good because I'm not
Well,
sure.
I'll help you along.
And I'll definitely need your help.
Yes.
First of all, the red pill comes from the movie The Matrix. The red pill versus the blue pill. You take the red pill and you see what's really going on. You take the blue pill and you go back into your fantasy, which is nice and comfy. So you take the red pill, and then from a male point of view in this society, which has become extremely gynocentric, and then that this cannot be denied.
She may not even know what gynocentrism is. So.
Okay. Female-centered. Matriarchy. We've moved from patriarchy. We're moving into a matriarchy.
It's not necessarily a matriarchy, but
it's getting there.
Yes, it is.
Are running the show. Now even CEOs are required. They're required to have so many CEOs in certain clubs that are female, just because they're female. It's absolutely ridiculous.
But the point of gynocentrism is, I have to point this out, is that basically take any subject and they look at it from how this will affect women. They don't give two shits about how it affects women. So it's
everything is from the lens.
Okay, she gets it.
Lens of female. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So tell her. She says she gets it. So let's
awesome.
talk about the red pill.
So, you know, you have these men who are behaving like men are used to behave and how they're trained to behave in a masculine way. And then they're getting blindsided by these women who are telling them they want different. Am I making sense? Somewhat. I've never put this together quite like this. So you all are kind of helping me form my thoughts.
So it's like you have traditionalism, which has basically gone out of style, but men are still told they need to act this way, but women aren't really interested in guys who act that way. And they, you know, basically the women shit on these dudes who think that they're doing what's right, if that makes sense.
And traditionalism exists for a reason. It's because we are evolved. We had evolved that way, and it worked. So what's going on now, and what they're finding out about it? For instance, men acting like women. I mean, well, yeah, that is happening. Men are starting to act like women, but women started acting like men. And physiologically, they're not capable. And I mean that not just physically by the body, but believe it or not, women, you're not capable mentally either. And again, most women, it is about masculine and feminine brains. And some women can handle testosterone better. Some women burn through their testosterone too quickly. And that's why you see a lot of meltdowns in high positions, because women aren't meant to handle that. We are engineered, so to speak, to be caring and nurturing as a part of raising children. And that's how we've evolved. And now women are foolishly being taught that they can be men. They can do what men do. And to a degree, yes, until they can't. Either they fall apart, and I've seen this in psychiatry so many times, or they grow to have regrets. So, of course, there are exceptions again, but it's probably about 10% of women can actually do it. Maybe 30% can do it, but 20% choose not to. And only 10% move on. And I'm being generous. I think it's less. It's how we're engineered. And women now, and particularly feminists, but even women that don't claim the feminism label, they don't understand that they can't do things that men can do. And they get offended when anyone tries to tell them that, especially a man. Just as a man would and should get offended if a woman tells him what to do or how they are. It's the same. It's part of the reason I started doing this. Exactly, Timothy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Timothy Blazer. Yeah, I mean, that's like how some of my videos, I think that's what makes some of my videos great, because I'm hyper-focused.
Yes.
Annoyed with a particular person, particular shitbag that lies and steals and defames people. And so that helped me be hyper-focused on exposing and humiliating that person. So, you know.
Well, what will women do once they burn through their small amount of testosterone and then the cortisol is still going up is, they're going to, well, cry, that's actually a tactic, by the way. They don't know they're doing it, but women's tears have oxytocin in them, and you can sense it. And so an aggressor will back off. It's like being around a pregnant woman. Pregnant women are more safe in violent crowds, typically, and it's the oxytocin. So there's a lot of physiology going on here, and it's unarguable, and yet they'll sit there and still scream at you and argue. It's amazing to watch the dissonance.
She must know specifically what women can't do.
Oh my goodness! Let me start. Name any sport that a woman is better than a man in the total. You can't. Ever. Which is why no one wants to watch women's sports unless it's the Olympics. And everyone goes to watch men's. And I, who watch basketball, or I used to, I'll never watch the NBA again until they change. You watch a male basketball game and holy hell, it's magic. The things that they can do seem beyond human. And you watch a women's and they're good, but you don't see the magic. You see them do something that's somewhat good and you go, yeah, I've seen every single male basketball player do it, but only one female can do it. Give me anything and I can.
How about a stand-up fight where a dude is
exactly.
A dude decides he's not going to hold back, which is what most men do when they're
That's
even
right.
if a woman's attacking them with everything she's got. Most dudes still hold back.
If a man doesn't hold back,
You're
there's
done.
no chance.
Unless he's an absolute pussy.
And even then, now you have almost an even match. It's just not, and because of a man's testosterone, they're going to have more focus.
If he's super soy, you might have like an even match, but like
okay. Exactly. And that's another problem is men are being feminized. And I don't mean socially feminized. I mean just the advent of the pill, which is a whole big story. The advent of the pill put so much estrogen out there. Plastic bottles are dumping estrogen in our drinking water, plastic in general. And men are drinking this stuff. Soy truly does increase estrogen. It's a receptor blocker or something, whatever. Is
it like phyto?
Yes, phytoestrogen, exactly. So all these things are out there, and added to that is the social, not expectation, but the social shaming that is going to any man who has masculine traits. Is there such a thing as toxic masculinity? Absolutely. But there's also such a thing as toxic femininity. And that's what we're seeing from these radical feminists.
I don't agree with the whole toxic masculinity.
It's a word. It's taking your masculinity, which, as we've all agreed, is with testosterone, which does link to aggression. Now, toxic would imply that people don't rein in their aggression. And there are men who don't. And then there are men who have control over themselves. So that, by the definition, I'd say crosses a line into toxic because you don't have control over yourself. It's just a word. It's just a word. But now I know they think it means they apply so much to it that it's ridiculous. But there is an inherent masculine traits and inherent female traits that we are supposed to keep control over as big-brained adult human beings. And some people don't. And that's where I would throw toxicity into the mix. But so I think there is. I just think the word has been.
Again, I don't see that as you're just being an asshole. That's
yes.
Putting the word toxic in front of either one implies it's.
Oh, it's wrong.
It's an implication that I just simply don't agree with. Now, if you're an asshole or you're a shitbag, then that's what you are. But I wouldn't say that it's inherently a toxic trait.
Again, that's just a word to say the same thing. A male asshole is different than a female asshole.
Yes.
So, and now you're bringing in the masculine and the feminine of what is asshole.
Yeah, GLM. That's basically what we're saying. Just you put it in a very shorter format.
Well, yeah, but you ask for examples.
Yes.
And that's the difference. That's the summary, and it's perfect. But those strengths and weaknesses, when put into competition, men are inherently competitive. It's part of their makeup. Women have a different type of competitiveness, but it's very different. It's subtle. It's subversive, really. Not a good trait with women, by the way.
Yeah, so that's what happens when you ask someone who's kind of high on the autism spectrum, for examples.
Yeah, I will go into.
Yeah, you can always go down rabbit hole.
Ask me to get into details, and I will for you.
Absolutely, you sure will. So getting back to like the incels and the red pill rage. So basically, the red pill rage comes from guys who finally they see that they've been programmed falsely by society, and they see the truth. They take the red pill, just like in the movie The Matrix, and they see things for what they are. And there's a part of them. This is why it happens early on, of course, because just like with Neo in The Matrix, when he first got unplugged, he was having trouble adjusting because his mind was still kind of connected to the Matrix, even though he was seeing things now for what they really were. And that's the same thing with a red pill rager.
And it's usually also attached to having been hurt.
Of course, there's always a trauma generally, usually, not always. There's guys who weren't traumatized by, and this comes from like being divorce raped. And that means, woman she'll take the kids, she'll take half of the shit, alimony, child support, and then he can't even see his kids and he's living in his fucking car.
And GLM, it's not that some men shouldn't be around their children and this should happen to. We don't know. But women can say anything. They can lie and the courts will support the woman. And that's what's wrong. They will support the woman without any question, without any due process. And a lot of people don't know this. But it's tragic out there. And the men are they're literally getting killed.
Yeah. Or offing themselves.
Yes, exactly. That's what I mean. Either offing themselves, they're dying off. And so another reasonable response to this is to go MGTOW. That's where I thought MGTOW came from. Men going their own way, just turning their backs on on women. Now, some are obviously doing it saying they just don't care, period. That's fine. But I see this as having a societal impact eventually. I think it's starting where women are going, whoa, what happened to all the good men? Well, you're acting like nutty bitches, so we're not going to deal with you anymore. It's one of the first responses to train people or to train dogs even. Sorry to compare women to dogs, but we're all animals, is to ignore them. That's the first thing you do. Or children. One of the first attempt you make, God, I can't think of the word. Strategy. There you go. The first strategy you would use for bad behavior is you ignore the behavior. And it usually works. But then you move to different strategies. But this I see is a perfect strategy that over time is going to open some women's eyes. And I got into this because I have 3 nephews. I'm terrified about them getting married and having this happen to them. So anyhow.
I wish APOC was still here, because there is something I would like to pick your autismo brains about. There's kind of a goal that I want to set. Now,
okay.
I have to give you some background. I'm sure you're aware of some of this because we talked about this previously, but so there's even though they're both red pill, the conventional red pill and MGTOW is what I'm talking about specifically. Okay. Those 2 factions. I don't call them PUAs because PUA, as typically described, that's dead.
Mm-hmm.
That's long since. That's ancient history at this point. They're not getting along.
Still teaching game though. Some guys are still teaching game.
Well, some MGTOW guys aren't monks. See, a lot of people associate a person who's a MGTOW with being a monk, which is totally.
I got burned by someone who called himself a monk, but moving on.
Of course. They're not getting along too good right now. I know that Rollo Tomasi is reaching out to Olive Branch, to Turd Flinging Monkey. And
yes, I noticed that.
In the next couple of months, he wants to do an interview with him.
Good.
I passed the message along and all that.
Yeah, that will be a brilliant interview. Absolutely.
But some of the dudes who I like, they're not getting along too good. I mean, Modern Life Dating, my homie, Richard Cooper, some of these other guys, they don't have a very good opinion of MGTOW. And I understand to a certain degree because, you got MGTOW Dictionary that's doxing Modern Life Dating's mom and his, his brother, I think it was. And
isn't that like a black person murdered my husband's ex-girlfriend, so he hates all black people?
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying that.
But yeah, a guy with higher testosterone is just gonna be like, fuck it, it's bullshit. Fuck them all. I don't want to deal with these people.
Yeah,
there's a low tolerance for bullshit, and I understand it totally. I just try to be. You
tried to be egalitarian and reasonable.
I don't know about egalitarian, but I try to be.
Well, between MGTOW and
well, if you're talking about
MGTOW doesn't mean that others. Well, that's egalitarian applies equality in any group, regardless male, female, males that some believe X, some believe Y.
All right. Well, if you put it that way, I guess if you're talking about between MGTOW and conventional red pill,
yes.
Sure, I guess that would be an operative word. So then, I'm sure you're aware of what happened with Richard Cooper and them attacking his daughter's YouTube.
I heard about it, but I didn't.
This happened when Little Blobby basically stabbed TFM in the back. And apparently people blamed what was then the Red Man Group for this.
Oh, wow.
And
they couldn't.
How far back this was.
Right.
Rich Cooper was still a member of that group at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So in their anger, and I'm sure some of these were Blobby sock puppets. But
yes, no doubt.
In their anger, they came after Rich Cooper's daughter's YouTube.
Oh my God. That's wrong on so many levels.
And that's partially why I believe, I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure this is partially that's partially why he left the group, but not entirely. Obviously, I think there was a plot to get him out and Roll out of that group in the first place.
You better
That's
believe
why
it.
you know who, and also you know who else. No, I don't think MLD's doxed anybody there, Seek.
Yeah, here's the thing. I was absolutely close to what was going on during that time, and Red Man Group had nothing to do what happened between TFM and Misandry today. Absolutely nothing.
Other than Blobby trying to ingratiate himself to them.
It was all Misandry today.
Yeah, and
That's it.
And ADJ. That was their plot, is what I'm thinking.
Well, they had nothing to do with TFM at all.
Absolutely nothing.
Totally different. That's a totally different shit show.
Yeah, but the point is they saw it as TFM
Right.
fan base coming
And
out.
yeah, and the TFM fan base were wrong. That even if Red Man Group did do it, they'd still be wrong to go after someone's daughter. And B, they were wrong because TFM had nothing to do with it. I mean, I'm sorry, Red Man Group had nothing to do with it. So they were wrong on two levels. And so I would understand that, but to hate all of MGTOW, that's silly. I mean, look at the guy, the one human. That guy is solid. And
All right, Zeke, I'll look into it. I'll look into it. But,
wait a minute. What is? I'm sorry. Again, I can't focus and listen and read at the same time very well. I'm getting better.
he was talking about the MLD and
yeah, I see that. I see that.
and everything. I'll look into it.
It doesn't seem like an MLD thing to do.
No.
And I can't say that the way I can say it about the others that I know in real life, but I've heard him speak out of what's that? Out of character? Because believe me, MLD's in character when he's online, and I've heard him speak out of character, and he's the same but different. He doesn't seem like somebody that would dock somebody. It's just not his MO.
Well, so with the housekeeping out of the way, my thing is I'm trying to figure out how to sort of get these groups to talk and stop being so hostile. I know they have different philosophies, right? Because it's all my take on it is it's all red pill. You just choose to use the red pill this way, and other people choose to use the red pill knowledge that way.
Right.
That's how I see it. Now,
But yeah,
some people, see MGTOW as quitters and losers and such, and then people on the other side are like, "Well, you're a bunch of PUAs and pussy worshippers." And
I mean, technically they're quitters, but not losers.
Right.
I don't blame them for quitting.
But you also have to remember what I brought up before: the incel invasion of of the MGTOWs.
Yeah, and that's another. Yeah, that is a total another ball game because incels. I hate even using that word because I don't even believe in it. I believe in it. They exist, but I think a lot of them think they're incels and they're not. And like you said, anyone can improve themselves. But again, that's another 5 videos.
Right.
But I get frustrated when I hear, I think Rich on one of the streams, or he does it often, he'll talk about how bad can my language get? But he calls them doll effers, some people. And
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And that to me is kind of pathetic. I don't like that. I'm sure it doesn't bother the people who have dolls, but it shows the problems are with the judgers. So
I don't. Yeah, if MGTOW guy or Incel guy wants to get one of those dolls or whatever, that's
of
on
course,
them. I don't judge them for that.
no, of course
It's
not. Who
it's not
cares?
me.
Who are you hurting?
Okay.
Yeah,
They're dealing with real women, so
yeah, good. For whatever reason they have to do it, it's all good. But again, another 5 videos.
all right, there you go. Yeah.
I wish you well. I feel that if TFM and Rolo talk one-on-one, because the TFM interview they had on Redman Group didn't go. TFM was very good. And I know he changed some people's minds, but at first it didn't look like it was going to go well. And I think opinions have changed since then. Particularly with Rolo. That's just an opinion, because I'm a behavior watcher. So I hope they do, because I think it would be a very good stream.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah, good. Because a lot of misconceptions and a lot of things that were set up behind the scenes will be cleared up.
Yeah, a lot of people have a misconception of Rolo.
Absolutely.
Before they he's a PUA. No, he just connects the dots. He talks about the subjects, but he doesn't encourage. His own words. He says he does not give prescriptions.
Right. I don't agree with him.
Telling you what to do.
Like the guy.
Well, that's normal for anyone or anything.
Exactly.
And of course, you're going to have a different point of view of it as a woman, and he's coming at it from the angle of men. So,
oh no, I totally get it. But sometimes you can be just factually wrong.
That being said, Seek, I will say that MGTOW Dictionary is equally a scumbag.
I've heard bad things about that.
He's basically the black pill DDJ. He's the black pill misandry today, and I can smell these fools.
Gotcha. Yeah, I haven't. He's on my list to look into behaviorally, but I haven't yet. And everybody, don't get me wrong. I can be wrong about not just pretty much everything. I can be wrong about everything.
I say, yeah, look into him, but I'll just tell you my observations.
Yeah.
Because you've seen all of this before.
Mm-hmm.
It is that just like Blobby, he joins a group because he came from the MGTOW. He joins a group where he thinks he can make some money. He has that attitude of like, I'm one of you, but I'm better than you.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to teach you, even though I just showed up.
Right. All animals are equal, but some are more equal. He has that going on. You know, you didn't deal with the incel guy that Rose and I did. But
No, I heard about him. The Indian fella?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
He was living in
Can't remember his name.
but yeah, we talked to him, and he had potential. He's messed up. But apparently,
not ready.
That guy wanted him to pay for all this shit. He wanted to get a hotel room for. Take care, Jalen. He wanted this guy to pay like $5,000 for some hotel room, and he was gonna, some fancy hotel. And he was going to bring hookers, and he's like, "I'll get you laid." So he basically wanted you to foot all this money, and he probably knew that this guy had an inheritance or something.
Mm-hmm. Sounds so familiar to me now.
Yeah, right. See, the more you observe this guy, the more you'll see that you've seen this script before.
Yeah. Running from pay monkey to pay monkey.
Basically,
yeah.
See, he's again just like with Bobby Lewis. He's not who you think he is. Just because he says some stuff that sounds good and may actually be correct, the person who's saying it probably doesn't believe this shit. He's also a scumbag who wants your money. Buy his product.
He's not unintelligent.
He's not providing something that you couldn't. It's not like he's providing coaching. That's the thing that I'm going to say about some of these guys you all hate, the MGTOW guys hate, and you talk about how they're pussy worshippers or whatever. Like, you can get they put a lot of their stuff out for free, like good information for free, but what you get when you sign up for their program is you get one-on-one type of coaching, an individual look, whereas the stuff that you get for free is kind of like a broad thing, like a generalized thing. Where now, if you sign up for the shit, I'm not saying you should, because can you do well without signing up and paying all that money? Sure. But what they'll do is they'll give you one-on-one coaching and put that boot to your ass to motivate you to do shit.
They basically are accountability
Yeah.
motivators.
That's a good way of putting it. And they teach you stuff that you may or may not already know. But yeah, that boot to ass thing is what some guys actually need, either whether it's business, money type of stuff, or whether it's wanting to improve with women.
And they also offer, in that is camaraderie as well. And some people need that.
Well,
Everyone needs it at some point.
I'm actually in the guy's server, on our Life Dating server, and it's pure positivity.
And that's MLD you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, I have no doubt.
There's no bunch of negative shit. It's not like,
It's awesome.
because I'm also in a bunch of MGTOW servers. Like I said, I'm in the largest one, probably Monkey Business has a lot.
Yes.
There's negativity, a lot of negativity and nihilism going on in there. But in MLD server, it's just positivity and guys helping each other out and camaraderie. And
that's how it should be.
Right. So that makes me want to be there more, to be honest. And that's kind of what I'm going for with my server. Except for my server is going to have and the link is in the description of this video, guys. I'm going to put that out there again. MGTOW, conventional red pill, even there's females in there that are allowed to be in there. As long as everybody behaves like mature adults, then we're cool. But
yeah, real names. I hear you about paid accountability buddy. I hear you there, but some people need motivation, and if they're paying, they're more likely to do it. And then once they get to a certain point, they can become an accountability person with another person, even within the group, and you stop paying the money. But
you also make friends with some of these people.
That's what I'm saying. And so then you can get real friends. So yeah, it sounds bad at first, and I get it. That's why I never joined a sorority. Well, it's one of the many reasons I didn't. And I was invited to many, and I'm not paying to get friends, especially. Never mind. Anyhow, so yes, I agree with you on that, but it can boost someone up to where they can seek people themselves, even start helping out others. So overall, it is a good thing. I think. So, but I agree, but have also a counter thought. Dictionary has a lot of cutting edge truth and points. However, there is a side dish of off-key elements. Yeah, and that's, again, you have to use your brain and pick out the diamonds from the shit. Or find out if there are other diamonds elsewhere without shit.
He's not. Look, okay.
It's his character,
here's
right?
the best way to put it, right? So think of, say, Face and LMS as TFM, and then take Incel Dictionary, and he's Misinjuries Today, DDJ. That is how it is. So basically, he's ridden off the coattails of Face and LMS, and he's saying kind of the same thing that Face and LMS has come up with, because Face and LMS does scientific analysis of what kind of physically makes a person attractive.
Yeah, I swear that guy is probably autistic.
Probably, and I don't like, and that's also probably why MLD. I know Face doesn't deserve this, but that's probably why MLD treats him the way he does, because he's associating I think I obviously haven't. I'll have to ask him about it one of these days. But I think he's associating face with MGTOW dictionary, and therefore, they're all bad. Like,
Right.
I really wish these guys would, like Rolo, would just have a conversation with face. Obviously, they're not going to agree. But it's good to get that marketplace of ideas once again.
Yeah.
So
I've heard
you dissect it.
Yeah, I've heard face in dialogues, and he is extremely self-deprecating and agreeable.
Well,
That's what I've heard. Now, he might have done other things than others, but the two that I listened to, it was painful to hear him concede on issues he probably shouldn't have. So, and that's I hate to say it, but that's what an autist has to learn not to do. Being autistic, trust me.
Sure.
But yeah, I feel for that guy. But anyhow, moving on.
All right. I'm just trying to figure out. I mean, who do you like, Seek? Like,
Oh yeah.
everyone might bring up, he's just like, this person sucks.
TFM promotes mental illness. Yeah. I'm trying to see where I'd like to know what you mean by that, because I'm not sure, because he does things. His beliefs, which many of us are shaped by his childhood experiences, which he's not been quiet about. It's not a secret. And so some of his choices in life and some of his opinions are shaped by that. And so I don't always agree with him because I know where it's coming from. Self-deprivation. I don't know if that's related to TFM self-deprivation. I'm going to say something that may sound cruel about TFM, but he has a doll, and that's it's not really unhealthy. It isn't. He's not self-deprived from a relationship. It seems weird to some, but it's okay, because unless he got a lot of help, God, that sounds terrible, but I mean it in a very clinical, good way. He's going to keep picking the wrong women, women who are just like his mother. And it's what we do. We're biologically wired that way.
Well, he's mentioned that he's dated a whole spectrum.
He thinks he has?
Intentionally.
He thinks he has. But I guarantee you, he would be turned off completely. He wouldn't believe a woman who's doesn't have traits like his mom. He wouldn't even believe him. And that is so hard to overcome. It's not impossible, of course, but especially someone as intelligent as he is, he's not even going to see that he does it. He won't see it. He'll say, no, I thought about that and I did this. You can't just do that. There's so much more to it. So he made a logically good choice, even though he doesn't know why.
I mean, there's probably a lot that you guys don't even know about TFM. I'm not going to say he's playing a character, but he doesn't show like all of who he is.
Of course not. But I'm
entertaining. The mic I'm talking to you guys on right now. Do you know who bought this?
Yep. Yes, I do.
TFM bought this guy.
A lot of people. Yeah. He bought a lot of people mics.
He didn't have any need to buy it for me. He just out of nowhere, he's just like, here you go, dude.
Yep.
And he bought one for the plumber as well.
Yep. I mean,
yeah, I was already going to buy one.
But his character,
his generosity.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Shows like his character to me.
Yep. But I mean, I've heard him in 2 streams where he has talked about his childhood, etc. He's very open. I have a better word, but he's very open about it. I was very impressed by it. I don't think he was playing a character then. Of course he could have been, but I don't think so.
He's got to be entertaining. That's how you keep an audience.
Right. I'm saying he was having a one-on-one, not on a show. You know what I'm saying? He was off. He was not being TFM. So it was, yeah, it's like when you hear Sandman talk, not as Sandman. He's very different.
Yeah. Well, when he's not doing a scripted video, he's a lot different.
He has a different voice. He has his snarkiness is different. Yeah, a lot of things are different about him. Yeah. Never said TFM was a bad guy. It's it's that side dish of off-key elements thing. Yeah, I'm still not sure I know what that means, but I'll tell you. And again, I don't agree with everything about him either. Like I oddly enough, I have the 50% rule either. And if you if you stay above 50% in agreement, then I'm going to be on your side. And he's probably at 75%, maybe more with me right now. I don't know the guy.
There's your phone.
Oh my gosh, I thought I put it. Oh, the time. It probably came off automatic. Do not disturb. Let me turn it back on. I'm sorry. I'm old, everybody. Remember, I'm still learning technology. I was coding, writing programs back when they still used cards in old computers. And then I learned basic Pascal, COBOL.
Yeah, Fortran. And I understand you're not saying he's a bad guy. There's something. Sounds like you're saying there's just something about him that you just don't jive with, and that's fine. That happens. This is like anybody. Like I can meet somebody and I don't hate them or dislike them, but there's some I just don't jive with them.
Yeah. And you just go a little on guard, or you look for that, whatever that je ne sais quoi is. Still haven't turned it off. Hold on. I'm going to get a bunch of notifications.
That's the 70s coding. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Welcome to me.
Borderline boomer right here.
I'm not kidding when I say I'm old. I happily hit the wall and climbed it. I don't care. Never bothered me.
All right. So, we went down several rabbit holes.
Mm-hmm.
We're still trying to. What do you think? Her mic she's got a good one. I'll say that. But do you have any ideas? Like, is it even possible to sort of try to, put an olive branch out there between these two groups? Because I'm friends with MGTOW, but my philosophy is not MGTOW per se. It's more conventional red pill. So
right. I truly believe that in the interview discussion between Rollo and TFM is a quintessential olive branch. I absolutely believe that. I think they both have an honorable core. There you have it. That's all I can say. Yeah. No one's without damage. No one's without problems, but
true.
I think it would be stellar for both communities. And believe me, they'll all watch.
I'm hoping so.
Guarantee it. Yep. Guarantee it. Oh, I'm glad my mic is good. Yay.
Yeah,
thank you, Seeker.
You got one of the better mics out there,
Yeah, I do shop around and ask questions before I purchase anything. It's one of my weird things. Spend more money now so you don't have to keep fixing it. Everything I have is probably 20 years old except for this mic.
Yeah. So I guess and on that topic, we'll just wait and see what happens.
Yes.
That's all we can do.
But I think you arranging that is the answer. I cannot think of anything.
That was Rollo's idea. All I did was say, he put it out there on the stream.
Well, let me say this then. Without you, it wouldn't have happened as well. You're a good in-between guy.
Well, I'll try to be. I'll try to be an ambassador if possible.
Mm-hmm. It's one of your strong skills, for sure.
Real names. well, regardless of whether you like him, Seek, he is behind a lot of conventional red pill wisdom, and a lot of the stuff you see out there. He had some involvement in it. He's an OG. Has been working on this for a long time.
Yes. Seeker, I also agree with you. On first blush, I was sitting on the fence, so I'm riding at 50%, and I listened to him. But certain things happened, and now I'm more on his team than not, so to speak. Again, I could take apart one of his videos without
unflattering things about women. Yeah.
and I don't take that.
You understand
personally.
that
Yeah.
video that you're thinking about taking apart will probably be taken apart.
Oh no, and that would be fun. To me, I enjoy that. I enjoy that.
How you do.
Because that would be fine for me. I don't even want to argue about it. I like hearing people's ideas. If I get a misconception about it, I want to say it. And
Well,
then
I think you're
can
already
come back
off.
to me.
If you're talking about what's her face, you're like way off.
Oh, no, I'm not. See, that's what you don't understand. My title of the video, which would be, oh God, I had a title for it. So darn it. See, this is that on the spot thing that I need to get over, but it's basically something about Tommy Lauren. Tommy Lauren. How did I word it to you?
I think there's stuff that you're missing, but by all means.
No. You're still. Now remember, Rolo agreed with some of the stuff she said in that. But my basic point, and I'll tell you the joke because I'm not going to do the video, but I was going to say she is coming from basically a woman on her period.
Yeah. I thought you were going to put it out there. I was going to say go ahead, but.
Yeah. No. I'm not. I probably won't. But the bottom line is she was viewing everything from hormonally, and she really was. And I'm impressed with that young lady. In some ways, that video made me cringe, which is sort of an in-group embarrassment because it was self-righteous and cringy. So I totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with her delivery. I don't agree with everything she said. But some men, they wrote it as all men are trash. Is that what it was?
No, she actually said that.
Then she later, not in another video, in that video, she was very clear about.
Yeah, but if that's your first point, is that all men are trash? Like I'm not.
I know you shut everyone down, and I'll have to watch the video again. But
you should watch it again. And
she was
slowly.
It was coming from such an emotional perspective when she so often can be very logical. What you learn about her, if you didn't know it already, was my God, she has an ego. Now, part of it is she's an extrovert. So when introverts watch extroverts, they're turned off by them because they are a little more self-assured in that way, which can come across as egotistical. But she was wrong more than correct in that video. But my title was going to imply that I agreed with her. And I'd only point out the parts that I do agree with her, but mostly, absolutely, it was.
Yeah. Okay. Wrong. It makes more sense.
Yeah, I knew it would, but yeah.
I mean, on a small scale, she had a few things that were somewhat correct, but I mean, most of that was trash. Like the entire thing was cringe, trash.
Hey, Grizzy. Yes.
Grizzly Man.
I heard that too, that her friend got ghosted. And okay, so she was coming on in defense of her friend, just like a guy would in defense of his friend, but she was more emotional because she's female. And I'll guarantee you, the girl was on her period.
Do you want to come on and have it out?
Broad. Yeah, she was acting like a crazy broad on her period. And sorry, women, but I went through that, and I would say to my husband, If I'm acting crazy or irrational, please point it out because it's the hormones, which didn't happen super often, but that's another story. Women change your diets.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
I also want to respond to real names not given for something he said earlier. He said make an Olive Branch podcast, one-on-one interview, maybe call it Shade of the Red podcast. I think that that's actually not a bad idea. The problem would be getting people on the same schedule and stuff like that. But I do believe that the interview I mentioned previously between TFM and Rollo, this time I believe it's going to be a one-on-one.
Yes.
I don't know that for sure. Don't quote me.
Yeah, but that's what I have in mind too, Rifle.
I think that's what it's going to be instead of TFM having to, and he did pretty good.
Oh, he did extremely
well. Having like 6 versus 1, however that went.
He did extremely well.
But I also think that Rollo's, after everything that's happened,
he's changed his perception a little.
Maybe
because of you, Rifle.
Maybe. I don't want to take credit for that, but
I know you wouldn't want to take credit for anything, but I think it's a possibility that you have helped. You are the bridge between the two. I think
it would be better because we all have the same adversary at the end of the day.
Yes, exactly. That is exactly true. Grizzly.
Grizzly, like I said, if you want to come on and you want to hash it out with Cassie here.
Oh, there's nothing to hash out. Grizzly.
Real time.
If people really want to hear 2 people go at it, bring on Grizzly.
I love a good Grizzly rant, to be honest.
We need to be a part. I need to be a guest on Coffee and Hatred.
Yeah, we need to set that up because I'm thinking Sunday mornings or something because I need one day to sleep in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
okay, Seeker, we may still be chatting. You can come in and join, please.
Okay, that's fine, Grizz. That's fine, man. Yeah.
I understand, Grizzy Bear. You're in hibernation.
Mm-hmm. It's been a good 3-day weekend.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, this was so impromptu because
I was not planning on doing a stream. I was going to do a video about what we covered at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And upload that. But,
now you're doing a big favor to me to get me to relax and speak better, and I appreciate it very much because I have 2 scripts already started. I mean, almost completed, and they're basically completed in my head. But autistics have trouble speaking, and one of my channels will be addressing autism, but many, many other things too. But
the more you do it,
I know. That's why I said okay.
Well, same thing for me. I need to practice.
And remember, when I listened to you on MLD's show, you did so much better than you thought. You were really good.
Yeah. I think I should tell because like I said, some of the guys think that he's like taking all my credit. I was like, no, he gave me credit and he sent people to subscribe to my channel and
he brought you on his show.
He actually interviewed me.
Yep. Yep. And he gave you credit not only on his channel, but he also did it on the Red Pill show, the Rule Zero.
They've referenced me a few times.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It makes me laugh when they say some of the stuff that they say. I think Rollo said when he tells a story, he said a fat grocery clerk,
Oh God.
Named him. So, yeah, I mean, and he's more than fat; he's actually obese. But hey, close enough.
Yeah, or at least he was. Maybe he.
Well, you think he might actually be getting exercise, but see, I highly doubt that.
Or surgery.
Well,
one or the other. I think his ego would make him do it.
Well, if Sugar Daddy paid for it, maybe.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But, let's just be honest. I'm gonna logic you again here. If he lost weight, he'd probably turn the fucking camera on.
That's what I'm saying. Well, it's gonna take over a year to lose all that weight. So who knows what? I don't know. Nor do I care.
My attitude is I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. See, you saying that will motivate him to do it.
Okay.
I'm not thinking he's going to do it out of good character or what do you call that when you have basically the balls to do it, or the chutzpah or whatever. I'm not saying he's going to do it for that reason. He's going to do it to prove to others.
Well, if that's the case, then I don't think he's going to pay APOC for his fucking truck.
Nope.
If that happens.
I know. Yeah, keep saying things like that, and that's the only thing that'll motivate him to do it. Except that now I'm telling his secrets, so now he may not do it. You never know. It's like Princess Bride.
If you pay APOC for his truck, and maybe I'll stop slapping the shit out of you online.
Or pay me, God knows how much, 10 months in rent and other things. I tried to get him off hook.
Yeah, how about those tools that you
And tools. And I could, I don't even, yeah, moving on.
Anyways, yeah. All right, next topic if you have any.
Next topic. Yes. What are you thinking?
Well, that's why I was asking you, because I can.
Okay, or ask chat.
Okay, chat. What do you think we should talk about? We got a little more time. I may let this run to 3 hours. So.
Yeah, as long as people are engaged, and I know you have to work, but yeah, I'm on vacation, so I have another week off.
I had a wonderful 3-day weekend, though, man. God, I don't want to go back.
Oh God, I know that's so difficult.
Yeah, by all means, Oslo. Yeah, catch what you missed later on, my man.
Oh, hey Oslo. Yeah, and I'd appreciate your feedback anytime on Discord or whatever. I really do appreciate you guys.
He's good about that.
Yeah.
He always gives feedback and usually, types a lot. So you'll like it. You'll like whatever he says.
Yeah, that's excellent. And I've seen Seeker and Rose's Discord. Yeah. And I think we've had quite a good conversation before. So come on. Oh, Seeker went away for a minute. Okay.
Yes.
Is it back yet?
But Seek's good about writing good comments and stuff like that too, that are very well written. So
Nice. Oh, there's so many good people in this community.
It's I have to say I have a good audience.
Yeah.
I may not have a big audience, but I have a quality one.
Yeah. The one person who kind of got me talking to all of you, that very person then turned to me and said, I knew you met me just to meet men. I'm like, oh my God, I can't say anything nice about anybody.
Well, that's like, but see, you know how I keep saying like he thought he had like a relationship with you. I mean, that's the kind of thing a guy like that would say, because otherwise you wouldn't give a shit who that person is talking to.
Say that again. I'm so sorry.
All right. Do you remember how I kept saying like he thought he had a relationship with you and not like platonic?
Well, you know what? See, we did have a very close relationship, but he also looked at the other person as his best friend. And he absolutely melted down when he thought that I and his best friend would also be friends, even though he knew, he even gave, quote, me permission in a weird way that we could talk. He didn't realize that when you put two autistics together, we're very dangerous.
Well,
we figure stuff out and we're going to bond.
That's not exactly what I was talking about.
Oh, okay. I thought
related, but like what I'm saying is he was talking.
Hi, Oslo.
He was treating that as if you had a relationship and not platonic. That's what I was saying.
Right.
Like him being mad that, you just used me to meet men. That's
oh my gosh.
Someone's like significant other would say. Get what I'm saying?
Yes, and especially when he accused and still believes to this day that I had an affair with APOC. He just won't let that go.
It's like you cheated on him. That's what,
yeah.
That's what I've been trying to like.
But then went straight to my husband with it. Oh my God.
That's even funnier.
I know I just supported your theory.
Yeah,
But I still have a hard. You remember, I am an old
you
chick.
don't want to believe it, but
But
you got to
you're
look
an
at
old
the
chick.
source. You are, but you got to look at the source. All right.
Yeah.
You'll take what you can get.
Yeah. I guess that's why I just can't see it, because guys, I'm 55. Who's going to fall for me? And that's okay. That's how I want it.
Right.
That's
But
fine.
you're looking at yourself, and you're not looking at the other person when you make that assessment. Is what I've been telling you.
Yeah.
And it has less to do with you and more to do with him.
Yeah, and we were very close. I almost literally put my life in his hands. And yeah.
No, it's a good thing you didn't.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I trusted him completely. Not the first time I ever, obviously, but damn. First time I've been burned like that.
Oslo just gave you a compliment.
Oh, thank you, Oslo. I haven't seen it yet, but I really appreciate it.
Should be coming. See you, Oslo, man. Have a good sleep.
That's funny. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Bye-bye, Oslo. I look forward to talking to you. Sleep well.
Yeah, well, here's something else I want to point out to you, because I asked your permission, of course, to send some of the emails, correspondence to Rollo.
Yes.
And he looked at it, and guess what? His opinion was, he never told me this, but some of the comments he's made in some of his streams, he saw the same thing I did.
Oh, okay.
You know, like that email that he sent to you and your husband about APOC and your supposed alleged extracurricular activities.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of the ones he's seen.
Mm-hmm.
He read over all that stuff, and he came to the same conclusion I did, is what I'm saying. Again, he and I didn't talk about that, but that's the conclusion he came to.
Mm-hmm. Understood.
But he's the kind of guy, he's very observant.
Yeah. I just look at it, and I still do, obviously, as the triangle was being closed.
Well, that's part of it.
Not the way he thinks it was, but he needed an excuse to get out, because he had a better opportunity.
Yeah, that's also
a lot more money, a lot nicer accommodations. He had it elsewhere. And
Sugar Daddy. He told me Sugar Daddy had a very nice.
He lives in a mansion.
Yeah.
He lives in a mansion.
He's got like a whole suite for like a guest.
Yes. And so he needed a way to get to where he wanted to go, to where he thinks what he thinks he deserves in life. But he made a promise to me, and the only way to break the promise was to find a way to blame me. And I see it as that's how he blamed me, because why would it matter what my character is if you're working for me on a case that you and the lawyer that he worked for, his lawyer said my case was an over $2 million case.
And that's usually something like attorneys want to win. You know,
exactly. And his very lawyer said that. So, and other lawyers outside of the state where this happened to me also said that it was a very winnable high dollar case. Right. So I did have a good case, and I trusted these people, and boy, did they disappoint. His lawyer wouldn't even wasn't man enough to meet my husband in person. It was pathetic. And Bobby even made an excuse for that.
The Cuck Chronicles, he says, beware the Cuck Chronicles of Narnia. Dude, like I said, you'd be surprised. Like, that's that video I did about the cosplayers and stuff like that fairly recently. I mean, that's the kind of lack of congruency. Actually, like, I can't respect that. Like, I honestly see you as Grizzly went on a long rant about saying what you mean, meaning what you say, and doing what you say you're going to do. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. That's like a big part of, my respect for a man.
Mhm.
And when you do the opposite, when you aren't who you say you are or what you say you are, and you're just a fake, like I just have no respect for you. And that's one of the reasons why I slap the shit out of that loser constantly, because I can't respect that.
Yeah. And he did a lot of damage.
But he did damage. He ruined people's. He just ruined people, and he stole from people.
Yeah.
Misled them. He took their money. They'll never get back, and all they did was pay for his fucking lifestyle. And I just have right. Real name's not given. You're correct.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Real. That's exactly right. And I obviously did more investigation into it and learned that this was a long ago pattern. So yeah, absolutely.
Well, what a lot of people don't know, I'll put this out there right now. A lot of people don't know that before Cassandra took him in, he was living with his son-in-law, correct?
Yes.
Is that who he's living with? Okay. So he's been when MLD was talking about how he has a parasitic lifestyle, he was 100% correct. That's the kind of lifestyle this guy has always had.
Well, that and lawsuits.
And he lives off of lawsuits.
He is intelligent. And I mean, and this is what angers everybody that know him and know me, is obviously there's also something wrong. There's a lot of damage there, and there is psychological damage. And so
I could almost
pass for it.
I could almost pity him.
Exactly.
But if he was just an asshole, like someone else that I know that is damaged, but like they're not that harmful, they're just an asshole, then I could have some sympathy, really empathy.
Yeah.
To it. I don't fuck sympathy. Then that would be one thing, and I probably wouldn't slap the shit out of him. The problem is that he's so toxic and wrecks people's lives and steals and lies and misleads and isn't who he says he is.
I hear you. I can't. Yeah, I do.
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Real name is not given. That's another major part of my problem.
Yeah. And given your character, it also goes into why it would affect you so much. Because also he fooled everyone. And there's nothing more. It's it does something to you when someone fools you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And people react differently to that.
Well, I've had it when I was younger. I've had all kinds of people lie and trick me and, manipulate. So,
Rosie, sorry to interrupt. Moving on.
Thought blades.
Yeah.
You want on thought blades? I'll send the link one more time in case you want on. But see, I've had that happen so much that I'm just like, you know what?
You're done.
I'm going to whoop some ass.
Yes.
And I've done very well to prevent that from happening for, a long time. And so, he got me for a while there.
Yep. And this like a last straw situation for you.
Well, I mean, it's everything piled up. He misled a whole community. He stabbed people who I like and respect in the back.
Yep. Yeah.
He stole from people.
And the more I talked to you guys, because I didn't get into this right away, the more you helped me to see that side of it. Because yes, I am brutally angry, but I still get very hurt when I think about it.
Yes, yeah, I've tried to help you with that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's worked. Yeah, I've never been this close to something so wretched that I have in the last 6 years. There's Grizzy.
Right. There's Grizz. And the thing is,
taking eggs before you come on, Rosie.
bring the steak and eggs. And the thing is, rather than like a normal human being being like, look, I was wrong. And you never hear him say that.
Never.
Never being serious.
Yep.
Or he may, like, after hearing this, if he hears this, intentionally make a point to do it, which he never would have done. You know, like once you know the experiment, like your behavior is different.
Yep.
Type of shit. But
Yep.
just like his political shit, once that got like thrown out there, he never spoke on like how he was wrong, why he was wrong.
Nope.
Same shit.
Same with TFM.
He admitted he was a Bernie bro, but didn't ever go into detail about that, how wrong he was and why he was wrong.
And nobody is accepted more. No one's more welcomed with open arms than someone who's come from the other side.
Yeah.
People who, have seen the light from the other side are typically welcomed more. And so that's another tactic. It's another tactic to use. Certain people who read 48 Rules of Power and know, delve into the psychology of how to manipulate crowds, do salesman type work.
He's a politician.
They know what they're doing.
That's the exact behavior he exhibits. It's just like a politician. Never says they're wrong.
Yeah. Well, hello. Don't think he tried to become a politician without researching it.
Of course.
So he knows what he's doing.
So I'm gonna let Rose on here in a second, but let me finish my.
Sorry.
In addition to all the stuff I already named, then he fucked up like Rollo Tomasi and Rich Cooper shit.
Yep.
Got ruined that.
Yep.
Defamed them, and I'm quite positive he's behind certain sock puppets. Hell, I don't have proof of this. Don't take again. This one, I'm not saying this for a fact, but I suspect that I don't know if you guys remember that fake TFM. Some people disagree with me, but there was a fake TFM account that was going on in people's videos stirring up shit.
Oh God, that's classic.
It's a possibility that was him.
It's classic his behavior. Classic.
Yes. All right.
Hello.
Rosie, hi, babe.
Hey, what do I miss?
A lot. We've been BSing for 2.5 hours.
Fantastic. Should make it 4 then.
That might be a little too long for me, but so you got
what coffee's for? Okay.
Yeah, I'm on cup 2 right now.
I have to sleep, so
that's for a week.
Right now.
Damn employment! Damn that employment!
Yeah,
we go tomorrow.
All right. So, you got anything you want to chat about?
Well, we can always bring up the fact that DD Gay was talking to himself from a sock account.
Yeah. I don't know if we told you that, Cassie, but we caught him doing that.
Oh my God, that's
because
amazing.
He got triggered, right? Because what was my sock account name? What was it? Finn the Cat's Pocket Foot. I did it on purpose, right?
Yes.
I was like, who does DD Gay hate more than me? Finn the Cat. So and he started talking to himself, right? And he was trying to insult me,
right?
And on 2 accounts, one being his and the other being a sock account. And I was like, why are you talking to yourself? You're calling me crazy, but the one's crazy is the one talking to himself. Stupid.
Oh God!
For fuck's sake. Be consistent, dickhead.
Oh man. Yeah.
And it was so obvious that it was him. It's just like, Jesus Christ.
Obvious to you because I have to say, you're a master at voice recognition, patterns, and writing. You're very skilled at it. So I learned that over the years.
Oh, that's because I'm obsessed with the words, basically. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. Well,
I'm like, no, that's not that person. Like, no. oh, hey, DJ.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, here's a hint. If you're going to use soccer accounts, right, don't type in the same way.
Right.
Okay. Like, that's the key of using soccer accounts. Do not sound like the same fucking person, idiot.
Yeah. Take another
Or
persona.
sucking a person's dick so hard that it's fucking unbelievable. That's another fucking key.
Oh my. That's funny. Last cup of coffee for today. Let's see. Depends on what time zone you're in, but understood.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's an amazing catch. Though I'm not surprised.
I was looking at it, I was just like, why does it sound like him? I was like, oh, I
It
know
is
why.
him.
It's him.
Yeah, I found out a key phrase he's used on some of my videos to know which ones are socks to.
Right. And see, this is a thing about doing this is if I don't think he'd listen this far through, but when he hears that, then he's going to try to change his behavior.
I catch it either way.
Yeah.
He changes strategies, I'll still catch it. It doesn't really matter. Like
But
if he wants
you
to hang out on socks, whatever.
Yeah.
He might change strategy, but he still will do the same flaws over and over again because it's a habit.
That's right. That's exactly
it's
right.
like an addiction that he just can't break.
Yeah.
Something I meant to say, one of the things I forgot to say on the stream I did with Grizzly and APOC before about what makes a man respectable. I'll respect you if you just come as your identity. So everybody knows my 2 accounts. I don't need to make sock puppets. If I have something to say, I'll say it.
Yep.
To you, about you, it doesn't matter. So what's coming from me. A coward is someone who is going to make a fucking sock puppet to say shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I do both. One's called a wind up. The other is called complete utter conflict.
It's like being a child who's afraid to get caught by their mom or dad,
Yeah. That and hey Broccoli. Hi. That and the appeal to the masses. So if you are influenced by what a group of people think, you're going to think that another person is. So if someone comes at you from different socks multiple times, they naturally think you're going to, or it's going to have a bigger impact. But if you're someone like, actually both of you, all of us really, we're not affected by, we're affected by right and wrong. We're not affected by a group of opinion.
Yeah,
exactly.
This thought here is as stubborn as a mule. And,
I get it from actually it's more on my father's side than my mother's side. But yeah, my father's extremely stubborn. So when we do fight, you can guess that it's kind of like trying to get a peace treaty between 2 countries that have been at war with each other for over 20 years. It's a bit like that. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. You're not easily swayed just by an authority figure like your dad or a group of people. You present facts and let me think about it and then moving on. Hey, Eric.
What's going on, buddy?
Good to see you.
But I think it's funny, like especially when it comes to narcissists, they projected their own insecurities while they're trying to insult you, and I'm just like, that's nice attempts. But I'm not insecure about my looks. But clearly you are. Thank you for letting me know. Because now I know what to do now. Thank you. You stupid cunt.
Narcissist, they don't realize it and they'll do it anyway. Even though I'm saying this, they will expose all their weaknesses by claiming that
you projection.
Exactly.
They don't. It's not like they sit there and think about how they're going to project. They just do it.
No, it's
exactly
natural.
Like we're not going to say the person's name, but basically they got triggered because I used their own insult against them.
Yes.
And said that they were a lesbian, that they're in love with me, and she got triggered over it. And I'm just like, oh, so you don't like it when it's done to you, but it's okay for you to do it. Okay, I get it now. I understand.
Yeah. That's exactly. You just throw it back. You just become, well, basically, I'm rubber, you're glue.
That nemesis of yours was actually just here earlier in the stream. I don't.
Oh, is that who that was?
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't involve myself in drama, so keep
understood.
that to a minimum or keep it to your own channels.
Oh yeah, because
But that's who that is. That's one of her arch nemesis.
okay.
She was well behaved.
Oh,
and,
if anyone's going to participate in the conversation, God, that's perfectly fine. Someone could
Yeah, but if it's the person that you're talking about, then likely they're trying to get allies to add to their fuckery. If it is the person that I think you're talking about, but no, as long as they behave, I don't actually give a shit.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
a neutral ground if it behaves.
And I'm not here to involve myself in people's fights. I pick my fights of my own choosing.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, broccoli, that's beautiful. Don't try. Is determined by opportunities.
Sonny Crockett in the house again.
Oh, Sonny, I wish you'd come on.
Well, that would be interesting for what? What did happen?
Oh God.
It's okay, Sonny. I don't hate you anymore. I actually don't care enough to actually hate your guts anymore.
That was an amazing show. The one I had, the stream you had, that I had him come on. I'm surprised you didn't get your YouTube shut down, but that was amazing.
Oh wow, I totally.
I actually surprised someone flagged it. I think I actually still got the stream, to be honest, somewhere, but it's still unlisted, I think. But I'm surprised it wasn't flagged down.
Yeah, that was the best of Sonny, like nuking Europe, and oh man, it was amazing.
There's over 10 people watching it. I'm just like, hell, that's how things not been flagged. Why is it not been flagged?
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, Sonny Crockett is the man.
Yeah, Sonny's the person who brought you and me together in a way.
I don't know. Like I knew Sonny before I ever knew who you were.
Right. Oh no, I'm saying at some point, I forget some beef was going down with TFM group and mad at Sonny, and I always stuck up for him. And at some point, you were basically said the same thing or felt the same thing I did, and I was like, oh, well, maybe we have, because that's if you like the same people, that tends to mean that you're going to have similar traits also. So anyhow, yeah. I guess your backing Sonny was a reason that I trusted you more. How's that?
Yeah. Well, actually, that's a good story. With Sonny. So remember how I was telling you about the incels? I spoke to the incels that joined Monkey Business back in the day. So what happened was Sonny was in a voice chat with these guys, and he's basically, in the way Sonny does things, he was telling them to go outside and do hobbies and stop sitting around talking about their anime waifus or whatever. And they got triggered and told another mod, and I guess Sonny had been, a lot of people were complaining about Sonny. And so he ended up, getting banned for the first time. I mean, he's been banned probably 2 or 3 times from that server. But yeah, man. And I was like, man, I like Sonny. Because I was there when he told them kids stuff. It's like he really didn't do anything wrong to deserve that ban, in my opinion.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Number one, he not only said what they needed to hear, he also proved his point, because if you're easily triggered, guess what? You're not going to function well in the world. You're definitely not going to attract women. And yeah, and you're going to even push away masculine men. And I don't mean internally validated masculine males. I mean real men. Real men don't get easily triggered. Technically, real women shouldn't either. But they're going to break. They're going to break sooner, most likely.
Probably, that is true.
I know. Where's the 2 times?
It's 2 times, and I was only there for a day. Yeah, the second time he came in and started fucking with feeding the cat. And,
yeah, that was a mistake. That's what
And I
was
like
the-
the cat, by the way, but they're mortal enemies.
Oh no. That's funny. Cat is very interesting.
Sonny wants to nuke Europe, and the UK, I believe, is first on the list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fuck you, Sony.
Oh goodness. How many people can you sponsor to come over from how many people can you sponsor, period, to become citizens? Just one at a time?
That's a good question.
My list.
Sonny is an honorary American in my book.
Exactly.
I'd love to have him over here.
Exactly, Sonny. If you get offended on the internet, you deserve to be bullied. That's hilarious.
Yeah, like DDK, for example.
Oh my goodness.
He loves to get upset on the internet.
Way too well. You've seen him. You know him better than I do, actually. Yeah, so
the split personality change when he was angry it was disturbing, actually.
We've heard some of your recordings. Go on.
Yeah. Oh God, the recording's right. If you listen to them, right, you can kind of tell that I'm not really listening to what he's saying.
Oh, I know.
I'm so used to agreeing with him because I'm just like, oh, he's ranting again. Okay, yes, it is basically like husband and wife, right? But
yes,
I'm basically playing my father, right? But by going, yes, dear, yes, dear, yeah.
That's exactly right.
No, I'm just like, is he gonna stop? Okay.
So you were treating him kind of like how I treat thoughts. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yes, dear, yes, yeah, okay. Maybe we should go to bed, dear. How about that?
This is just it's off topic, but I want to say this real quick before we get back on topic. So I think Sonny is a much needed guest for whenever we decide to get Caffeine and Hatred kicked off.
Oh my gosh.
Sonny and Grizzly in the same space.
Oh, beautiful.
Amazing.
That is absolutely beautiful. You're right, Grizzy. They would absolutely fall apart dealing with a bully in real life. Oh my gosh.
All right, keep talking. I got to step away for a second.
Well, technically, we believed them. Well, actually, I kind of did because I leaked the recordings of DDK, which is why he had to leak false information that he tried to link to me, which is quite funny, actually.
God. Yeah.
And then you have like the other idiots of the Red Man group, or like used to be like George idiot that got so triggered by me because I was making fun of DDK. What was it? He asked if there was any good horror movies, right, Cassie? I think you've already seen this. And I responded with GJ's Alive.
Oh, I got it. Oh man.
I was like just going through all his tweets not to say like basically smart ass responses, right. And he got triggered over it
and blocked you.
No, he started doxing somebody that he thought was doing it. I said that's not me. I don't know who that is, but it's not me. And like I was posting this it was really like sad, right? I was actually screenshotting the things that I was posting on the other account and putting it on the main account, and I was just laughing. Oh, I already had my book basically, so
brutal.
Like all you had to do was go to my Twitter, and he would have seen that I was taking the piss out of him and actually posting it. Just to show that it was me doing it. And he was just like, he was convinced that it was, who did you think it was? He thought it was Rhoda. And I was just like, no.
God.
And I'm my own person. I'm doing this simply because I don't fucking like you. And you're a twat, like DDK. The end.
Oh, damn. They just have no idea. They don't know who they're up against there.
No.
People underestimate you, Rose.
They do. Well, so that's what makes it more
biggest
fun,
mistake.
actually.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, well, you know, you weren't that smart because you told us shit about, you know, loyalty and stuff, and you were letting me know exactly where you were because you couldn't be bothered with a VPN. So if I was a real dickhead, I could have actually told people which location he was in, because every time he logged into the Twitter, not only did I have to give him permission, but I would get an email telling me his actual location.
Oh my gosh.
It's not like we don't know where he's at right now, but I
Right.
just don't put that fucking shit out there because
Yeah.
I'm not a shitbag. So
Well, the thing is, like, when he pisses off the wrong person, which is probably not going to take much, to be honest, they will do it. And it'd be his own fucking fault. I actually do feel sorry for the people that are going to be, well, tied in with him through loyalty, or the fact that they're stupid enough to sponsor this dumb fuck.
nuke the UK too, by the way. Yeah.
What was that?
I thought that was your first target, Sonny.
Sony, go and literally, please, just choke on a dick, please.
Yeah, Shogun, your channel definitely is on the edge. I've been watching it, by the way. I enjoy it very much.
Oh god.
Oh man. Funny.
Yeah, you're probably straddling the edge.
Yes. Yes. That's why I'll have two channels. If I go to YouTube and then I'll eventually leave, but one of them I have to be more tame and do health and nutrition and autistic stuff, and then the other one I'm just going to do coffee and hatred.
Sounds about right.
or as I like to call it, reality.
Right.
Oh, but then you shouldn't be using coffee, you should be using like alcohol.
Or Irish coffee. I love me some Irish in my coffee.
I bet, yeah. Mix coffee and alcohol together.
Exactly. I am down with that. As a matter of fact, I need to go get some. It's on my list. It's on my list.
Okay.
Nuke. Oh, Kakistan. UK.
Like I said, spare Holland until you evacuate
Yes. Jack?
Jack Napier.
Yes.
Evacuate him and then feel free to nuke Holland.
And then evacuate Rosie before you go UK.
Oh,
No, UK is
not gonna-
something you don't touch, okay? That is precious ground. Fuck off.
He's gonna
You can take all the fucking
UK with Rose there.
what?
No, I agree, Rosie. I'd like certain aspects of UK to remain, but or like Grizzy likes to say, what is it? I think it's Grizzy. Neutron?
The
Or-
neutron bomb. There you go.
Yes. Just move out the red pill
Horribles.
and then come back and clean up.
Or a lot of people probably don't even understand like all the inside joking that's going on there. Like, he
Oh,
really
goodness.
plans on destroying UK or Europe or
Yeah, no, haha. We're just kidding, Google. Ha ha ha. Right, Grizzy? We're just a bunch of scoundrels joking around. Oh, goodness. Exactly.
Okay.
Out of shape.
Okay, Sony. Okay.
Oh, Sonny.
Whatever you say, Sony. Okay.
Oh, man. Too funny. Oh, goodness. So another topic. Where do we want to go from here?
I don't know, what does the chat think? Yeah, Broccoli, you missed the Kenosha bit. I did not
Oh, no,
do
we
the
did not.
Patriot prayer, my friend.
Yes. We did not talk about that. That's pretty much for probably for another stream, but I'm willing to talk about him too. And then the Proud Boy who attended the memorial, I haven't heard about. Is that most recent? The Proud Boy? I feel like I just heard about that today.
Really? I've not heard about it at all.
Yeah, it's just today. I'm thinking it's recent. It's fun to do all this stuff in Minecraft.
Yes.
That building a world.
Yeah, there's a lot. I generally try not to pay too much attention to politics because I try to keep my stress levels low.
And that's very wise.
But it comes to me.
Yeah.
I see stuff like Twitter. A lot of the stuff I see on Twitter is fucking hilarious. But here and there, I get political stuff posted as well. Yeah. Like speaking of hilariousness, like apparently this guy used FaceApp to change Paul Joseph Watson's face into like the female, and then he was claiming he got a girlfriend.
Oh my gosh.
So
wow.
Whether or not that person was joking, I don't know, but it's funny.
That is very funny.
There's all kinds of crazy shit on Twitter, dude.
Oh yeah, I only allow myself to go on and play once a week because it sucks me in. And even though I go on once a week, pretty much, I got put in Twitter jail for a while.
That you did.
Yeah.
I just get people to block me. So I got ADJ to block me and George Bruno blocked me.
Yeah, Bruno blocked me too.
I cucked him in every direction because he was like...
they did that to me too. And then I told them I have another account. And then they blocked that one. And I was like, here's another account to block.
Well, it's basically with you, it's whack-a-mole as you're one of those.
but basically, I'm like this person that's just going to keep coming back. I'm like a cockroach, basically, and I do just wind them up. Like, and they coming back at me again. This is harassment. They go, good, suck it, buttercup.
Look, I was trying to actually like help George Bruno, like inform him.
I know. I did the same thing.
Yeah, but I think he's too sucked in with DD Gay. I think that's the problem.
Dissonance, man. So, and then he like was like, "Oh, you're just a faceless pussy." So I showed him.
I'm not being funny, but if we were faceless pussies, we'd have leaked his number, which I gave you, by the way, and everybody else that's in that private server.
Yep.
We have his number.
Yeah.
And I've had it for months. And I'm not even like said shit.
Yep.
Yeah, and
I was hacked. No, it was my account, dickhead.
The point is, I was trying to help the guy, and he calls me a faceless pussy. So I show him the video where I show my face, like, and then he's like, "Oh, okay, you're not a pussy," and then he starts trying to talk to me like he's my dad. So I have one. I'm fortunate. I have a dad. Have always had him. My parents are still married somehow. Just like then I forget how it went down, but he blocked me. ADJ blocked me, but ADJ had it coming to him. Like he just I don't know. A Frau or whatever that is.
He probably wants to see if I'm going to look any more recordings of him. But guess what, dear? There's more to come yet.
Oh man, I don't know what a Fraulo is, but he likes to yell about that a lot on Twitter.
Okay.
Oh, I actually know what it is. I'm being facetious, but it's a nickname he gave us Rolo.
Oh, how sweet. Maybe he's secretly gay as well. He's wrote it to himself.
I think it's like a
oh, I know what it is.
It's a combination of fraud. And Rolo.
Yes, I just figured it out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking for a long time. But
yeah, not only that, Frau, of course, is female, so it's a double.
Not particularly creative, but sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's DD Gay. Okay, nothing's creative. Like he basically steals ideas from other people.
I was talking about ADJ.
ADJ does that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well that's DJ in a nutshell, also, isn't it?
Actually, I am pretty sure DDJ is running one of those accounts.
Maybe it doesn't matter.
He's definitely whispering in Anthony's ear.
Yeah, he's easy to trigger too. I had a lot of fun with that guy as well. I had so much fun with these idiots.
Yeah, that's the extent of my Twitter, to shit post or promote my streams. That's pretty much it. And look at the crazy stuff that other people are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get information and then I trigger with facts. And
I just like to make certain jokes.
and then I peace out. The only other time I go on there, my nephews and I interact sometimes there. He'll shoot me some stuff and ask what I think about it. So
well, you'd also have to make a CDJ then, if that's the theme you're going with there, Broccoli.
CDJ, let me look.
I think my best tweet was the one where I think it was George asking, what's the best horror movie to see, and I said D-Day's Life. I think that's probably the best tweet I ever did.
All right.
I was so triggered by it though. It was so funny, and I was just like, "Oh, that was harmless, dear. That was harmless. That was me being nice."
We've been beating up the Spurred Patrol for a while. Anything else you want to talk about?
Oh yeah.
What 3 hours? So
long live Serbia. I'm lost there. I'm going to admit complete ignorance, not even mild ignorance. What's going on with Serbia, Arashoka?
He loves Eastern Europe.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm down with that.
That particular part of it. Yeah.
Okay. There's a YouTuber. Her name is Barbara for you to see. Which she's Eastern European. I'm not sure which one. Someone will have to find. It's a country with a very small coastline, but a larger country. I'm not sure which one it is. She's amazing, but that was very off topic. But anyhow.
Yeah, she's from the region. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'm speaking with someone right now. He's German, but he moved to Hungary. I believe, maybe not, but he's kind of looking for a more Eastern European female, more traditional female, and that's all I have there. I'm hoping he comes on the show.
Huh. Okay. Well, I'd be happy to have him on, or if you have him doing a stream with him or whatever.
Yeah, he seems like a very nice, genuine, decent, extremely intelligent guy, and autistic, which I don't think that's a secret. Slovenian. Yes. Thank you, Broccoli. Yep.
Broccoli.
I'm going to check out that video, Shogun. When it comes to anything geographical and a lot of things political, especially political history, I am really needing to learn more. I've been most of my life medical, and it's time to pick up some new obsessions. Well, like UK, let me tell you, there a lot I know there when it comes to the War of the Roses and all that. I went through big obsession, so I'm down with that, and bits of our history. But yeah, I'll have to see his video. And anyone else you want to, anywhere else you want to send me. There's been a lot of shit going down there nobody talks about. Ooh, not even Black Pigeon Speaks.
So I will direct you to the the media tab.
Media tab.
In my server.
Mm-hmm.
And there's channels I recommend, and some of these you may or may not be subscribed to. Most of them you probably are, but there's some other stuff.
Thank you so much. I really like Black Pigeon Speaks.
Yeah, BPS on.
I think it's banned.
Should have.
He is Felix Rex now, so I
add to the mix.
Yeah, I enjoy his content very much.
He came out with a really interesting video about what's called woke fishing.
Yes.
These guys pretend to be like male feminist allies or whatever the fuck, and then like once they get what they want, girls usually find out that that's not the case.
Yeah, I have to write that down because I need to watch that again. Whenever there's a new term like that, it takes me a while to glom onto it. But I enjoyed that video.
Matter of fact, I need to put that in that tab. But a lot of it you probably already subscribe to, but there's some gun stuff I recommend you look at.
I definitely need to do that.
Especially Reed Henricks of Valor Ridge. One of these days I'm going to go. I got to save up some money and ammo when ammo becomes more available. And because you got to have at least 600 rounds.
Oh man, that's amazing.
You are gonna get, like, I'm already confident in my skills, but I can always learn more.
Yeah.
Right, and that's why I'm gonna go there and train one of these days.
Very cool.
Learn some new shit.
I need to get my conceal and carry license. I know a couple places around here where I can do it. I've got to get on it.
Yep, I recommend it.
Yeah. Because basically all I can do with a gun is shoot it straight. I need to learn so much.
There's a lot. I've said this before, but there's a big difference between standing still and shooting at a non-moving target and an actual firefight.
Yep, exactly. I was very fortunate to have someone who was training me, who also had experience and had us do walking and shooting and I can't think of the word.
There's a lot of little
skilling and shooting and quick sight, not just aiming and standing there and shooting, but made us do quick sighting, and it was a lot of fun. I learned how to Mozambique pretty well. Yeah.
To be honest, you're really right. Even though guns are banned, like more gun crimes actually are happening now, which is quite disturbing actually. Like there's more. Yeah, so gun wise doesn't make a difference. There's a huge increase in stabbings, and getting shot is now becoming more common. Actually, when was it? Yesterday, a kid was shot.
Oh man!
In the UK.
Oh my gosh!
And the actual report was kids were screaming, trying to run away. And I think the kids survived because it was probably just a bad shot because this person is not an experienced shooter. But that's disturbing that these people are getting hold of guns in the first place. Yeah. These are kids. How the fuck are they getting guns or even having the money to do it is my question.
Yeah, I think we're going to find a lot of hidden guns soon.
And you know what's like really funny? You know where a lot of black crime, they get shot. Over here, they get stabbed instead.
See,
they say the British, and then they show the face. A lot of them are basically immigrants. They weren't even born here. They moved here. They might be a British citizen. But, they're killing each other, which is kind of sad and funny at the same time. It's just like, so you're not just killing us, you're killing each other now. Fantastic. I'm so glad I don't live in London. It's happening in cities. That's what's interesting about it, and it must be all gang related.
In the US the same way.
Oh yeah, it's all urban. This is
doesn't happen in rural areas very much,
Nope. And let me tell you, these cities, they don't want to mess with rural. They have no idea. Talk about cognitive dissonance. Yeah. They think they've ruled for so long, and yet they've just been held up by their surrounding people that they disdain so much.
Yep.
They piss us off enough.
People forget where this fucking food comes from, and forget the dirty jobs and shit that they don't want to do.
Yep, they have no idea. Yeah, no go zones. Yeah. We have them all over our cities. They just don't call them that. But
But to be honest, do you even want to go there to begin with? It's a question.
Yeah.
Because you know what's funny? Like, there's the reason why there's not many British citizens actually living, actual national born British living in London. They've moved out because of the violence that comes with these people moving in and the police doing not their job.
Yeah.
But just like, don't blame you. If it was me, I would move too.
Damn Skippy. I did.
Like, it's better to live in the countryside, where nothing happens.
Yep.
If it does, it's a rare occurrence. Then to worry, especially if you have children, that they're going to be stabbed one day or shot.
You want a link? Okay. I'll send, throw that link out one more time.
One more time.
Awesome, Shogun. Yeah, I live in a region that has I think it's 0% murder rate, and it's a huge region.
There's like no crime here either, really.
Yeah. Oh,
very little. Yeah. Say there's zero crime is just an impossibility, but
no, I think ours is murder. I was just talking about murder. Yeah.
Yeah, you almost never.
Most people that get killed here in my town are druggies, and basically, a lot of the time they snitch to the police, basically, and that's why they've been killed by other people from their gang, basically.
Yep.
And that's what usually happens.
Snitches more than stitches.
But otherwise, our crime's not that bad.
That's good.
But the police here do their job. We're lucky with that in that department because there's an idiot going around doing like rape, which was a thing that was happening, I think, last year or year before. I can't remember now. And you could actually guess not only his nationality but his religion too. He got caught and he was thrown behind bars, but it's just like lovely. But there is in my town that you avoid at night is a certain it's called Victoria Park because rapes do happen there, especially at night. Like if you're on your own, it's just you don't go there. You just do not fucking go there. And like any big areas like that, it's just a no-go. You just don't do that unless you want to be a victim.
But so many people know it. It boggles my mind that it still happens.
Have basically, I don't know what you actually would call it, but basically, there's a tunnel, and on top is a motorway, basically. So that's another hotspot for rapes, and you don't cross that.
Right.
You're better off getting hit by a car or trying to cross it. I'm probably not going to get hit because not many cars actually do cross during the night. But you don't go underneath it. In fact, my tutor actually got attacked by a man in broad daylight.
Oh, wow.
Underneath that tunnel. Yeah, and
I was going to say I assume you're talking late at night, but no.
Yeah, it's just like these things do happen. It's quite scary.
That's awful.
But the attacker's mistake was that my tutor's an experienced boxer. He's old, but natural reflexes. So he got some, and of course my tutor got some, and he got to walk away from it.
Wow. I'm waiting for Shogun. I'm going to run away real quickly. I'll be back.
Coffee?
Yep.
There you go.
I need to take in coffee and relieve elsewhere.
Makes a lot of sense.
As Rose would say.
Yeah, spend a penny.
Be back.
Oh God. Okay, so I want to point out again, if you want to join the server, link is in the description of this stream. Just keep in mind it's a bit of a melting pot server. But as long as you're not a Spurg, you're welcome here. All right, if don't come here if you're gonna start shit though, because you'll be dealt with.
And there are rules.
But yes, so if even this thought here can obey the rules, I'm sure you can too. but it's the link I posted is only good for 12 hours, and so now you have closer to 9. So, and if you're watching this in the the recording of this, and you have me on Discord, hit me up on Discord, and I'll send you a link. But I'm only going to be putting these out because I don't want like a huge server, obviously, but I want a decent server where we can have good discussions about different things. So there's already quite a few legends in the server, like Sonny Crockett, Arrow Shogun, Dennis the Menace, Grizzly Rising. Lots of cool people in here, so feel free to join. Oh, there's Shogun. Welcome to the show, Shogun.
Hello. Yeah, my volume is low, so I need to fix that.
Yeah, because you suck.
Yeah, it's just I can just barely hear everybody. It's on my end.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because you're a scrub.
Love you too.
Oh God. What's going on here live on the air?
All right. Should be better.
One more time.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. I'll just.
Congratulations.
Just want to make sure it's loud and clear because we have a significant amount of autism here. So
we do, which is fantastic. All we're missing is Sony.
Sony.
No, it's fine. It's fine, Sonny, because see, that'll weed out the pussies.
I love that wolf.
A pussy's going to be like, oh no, Sonny Crockett's in there.
I mean, there are times when he is particularly annoying, but most of the time he's kind of funny in a way.
Oh, Sony's hilarious. Love that guy.
You guys need to understand Sonny's a changed man. He's got himself a girlfriend from the Long Nose tribe, and everything is good. He's mellowed out a little bit. He still wants to nuke Europe, but he's mellowed.
That should be on a card or something. He's mellowed out, but he still wants to nuke Europe.
Yeah, I just realized last night when I was sending out invites to sort of like the OGs that there's quite a few of you who don't really care for each other at all. Like I sent FDC an invite because he's my friend. He obviously doesn't get along with. Well, I mean, he likes Sonny. That's the thing. But Sonny wants to choke the life out of him, and of course, you two don't get along great there. I thought.
Yeah, but he was a dick to me, and I mean, you could argue maybe I overreacted, perhaps. I don't know. I don't really care, to be honest. As far as I'm concerned, it's water over the bridge. I don't care for it.
All right, so it's over.
Yeah, and until he does something else, I guess. And that's if I actually am going to care enough to actually be insulted or not.
All right, I'm glad you can forgive Cat. I'm sure he'll.
No, Cat's
really
Oh, Cat's gonna be here. Oh, fantastic!
Oh, no comment.
Remind me to get the popcorn when I watch Sony and Cat go at it. That's gonna be me. I'm just gonna be like, popcorn emoji, popcorn emoji.
Let me tell you, Cat won't show up. It's unlikely he'd ever show up with me here.
I forget. Yeah, he's not a fan of you.
Yeah.
The other thought, he likes Sonny, but Sonny hates him.
What's funny is like he basically, in fact, the reason for like banning me were fucking retarded. He made shit up about me, and then he like didn't even actually really let me defend myself. He just kept shouting and screaming at me.
Oh Lord.
So it's just like,
well, you know,
and I was
why,
fucking
I'm not
intoxicated anyway. So basically, what he was doing, he was shouting at someone that was already and like hungover as well. Because at that point, I was like getting like I was basically it was wearing off, so I was getting headaches as well. So you're basically yelling at someone that couldn't even defend themselves. Idiot.
All right, but yeah, I think he associates you two in particular with.
Yes, I know.
Does not want that fucking dickhead to do the video. Do I need to speak Latin? Do I need to speak dead languages for a stupid fucking cunt to understand that? No, seriously, do I? Is that like a miscommunication here that Cat can't actually understand English even though he's meant to be fucking British English? I don't really actually give a flying fuck where he's actually from.
Sonny's in true form in the comments.
Oh.
Sonny, by all means, please.
Cody!
All right, man. So Shogun, you said you had something to say, man.
Yes. Hey, guy.
So,
Well,
now that Cassie's back.
Okay, you were talking about the gun violence in major cities.
Hmm.
Well, now if you take a look at the state of Wyoming, I was told that they have like the highest rate of gun ownership per person, and yet nothing happens there.
Yep. Exactly.
But then when you look at Chicago, where there's a bunch of welfare sponges and people are there's a lot of gangs and so forth, and guns are banned and everything. There's a lot of gun crime and murder and everything there. It's almost as if gun laws just don't work.
Exactly. Look at Vermont, which is almost identical in every way to New Hampshire. They're right next door to each other. Same size, everything. Nobody will rob New Hampshire because everyone knows that 50% or 75% of those homes, if you break in, you're gonna walk right into a barrel.
You know what's funny? Like my father says, basically poverty causes violence, and a lot of the reasons why these people commit the crimes is because they have no money, so they steal it, and why they kill for exactly the same reasons. So it's got nothing to do with gun laws. Poverty just brings violence.
Well,
and
I think it's actually a bit more complex than that. I know,
I've
especially here.
simplified it a lot, but basically, where there's poverty, there's always going to be violence.
Well, it's a bit more complicated than that, at least when it comes to the United States, because if you look at the poorest, like for instance, the poorest, one of the poorest neighborhoods in the United States. Oh, well, it's in Kentucky, but yet it's a lot safer than Chicago and so forth. Now, the thing that actually promotes more violence and so forth and gang violence, especially when you trace it back to welfare dependence and single motherhood. Now, because if you look at, let's take a look at Black people for pre-1965. Now, they were more often to be in poverty. And there was, I think it was in the 60s, there was a blackout. And there was no looting and no rioting of any kind. And this was pre the expansion of the welfare state. Then there was another one that happened in 1977 when there were more people just addicted on welfare and so forth. And this was in a relatively short amount of time. Then there were people stealing and stuff like that. So, yeah, I am thoroughly convinced that it has more to do with how the poverty is induced.
It also...
go ahead.
Sorry. It has to do with the perception of poverty. For instance, they've done studies or they've observed this, the more you put disparate income communities near each other, the more crime there's going to be. Because the poor look at what the rich have and they want it. Do they need it? Do the rich need it? No. But it makes them feel poor relative to the rich. They see them all the time with their, mansions, what have you. And that increases crime. I'm not going to say nobody is starving in the United States, but very few are starving in the United States ever. There's a way to get food all the time, 100%.
Yeah, they still turn to crime. They join gangs, commit violence, do all the things, and that's why my father said that poverty does cause violence. Now it goes in different routes. You have gang related stuff, and then you have people just do petty crime, stealing for food because they have no money for the food, which is sad, really, because you'd think in this day and age that countries actually give it more of a shit about their own people and actually help them instead of giving it to different countries first, because charity should start at home.
I agree with
and
that.
Not overseas.
Yeah, absolutely. I do agree with that. As far as, you help your neighbors first.
Exactly.
Yeah. But we have a sad and robust homeless community, but they're all extremely well fed.
That is true.
Yeah.
The thing, and also you have to remember when it comes to these large cities, they tend to have a lot of incentives. Oh, no, I wouldn't necessarily say incentives all the time. At least to me, it wouldn't incentivize me to become homeless, but they subsidize the homeless essentially.
Yep,
exactly. Because when you subsidize something, you're going to get more of it. Now, in the city that I call home, the city I was born into, now they didn't have this at the time, but they have been increasingly spending more and more on welfare and other forms of welfare, as well as decreasing the requirement for food stamps and so forth, other types of public assistance. And the homeless population exploded. And there are places that normally have a lot of trashy people, and they will come to that particular city and they will openly admit on camera that they are here for the welfare because it's easier to be homeless here.
Yep.
And I can just be a NEET and I can just get by minimally. I don't have to work a 9-to-5 job and I can live just fine here. There are some people that are fine with the bare minimum. Now, if you want to be that person, then my only issue is that when you're taking money from the hard-earned taxpayer, and when you're attracting the type of people that you don't want in the city and pushing out the people that are the productive ones in your society, the ones that run the businesses and so forth, then it's going to send that city straight to hell. For example,
the thing is, homelessness or any government support, that's meant to be a temporary thing. It's not meant to be something that's meant to support you for life. It's meant to be a thing that supports you, unless let's say that there's something wrong with you and you can never do certain type of work. Okay.
And you're absolutely right.
But there's still other types of work that they could do. I mean, for example, I actually know someone that has a disability and he can't walk. He could have just said, don't have to work, but he works and he's in a wheelchair and he has to be supported, right? Someone has his family have to look after him, but he still works. He could have just easily said, I was born like this, whatever, don't have to work, but he still works. That's a choice that he's made for himself, an independence. And you think people would actually want an independence, wouldn't you? But some don't. They just want to. Oh God, have you actually noticed some of the YouTube videos, right? This mukbang shit, and these people are on welfare, and they're just eating junk, and it's just this is but they're bushy, right? This is what really actually is really disturbing. They are buying enough oh God, it's really bad. They eat enough calories, right, to sustain them probably for a fucking week, basically.
Yep.
And they're recording it, and then they wonder why people are angry. And it's you have those people, and then you have different kinds of other people, right? And this is one from one extreme from another extreme. It's just wow, how did we get here? Obviously, I don't know, they're not only are they too well fed, but I actually feel sorry for people that are on the street. They're barely getting by, and then you have these bastards shoving food down their throat. It's there's no tomorrow.
Yep. But now you are right. There are some people. I mean, taking a step back. Now, what you said is true regarding how these things are meant to be temporary, so that people can get back on their feet and get back into society, go back to work, and so forth.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Yes, but they've expanded these benefits so that they can actually live off of it and just live like a minimalist lifestyle.
Mm.
Now, when I'm working, I don't want my hard-earned tax dollars going to that, because that's really not fair to those people that are net taxpayers. And then the problem is that these people, these welfare sponges, they vote, and they vote for bigger and more welfare and more of your tax dollars, to the point where they just want full-blown socialism or communism, whatever you want to call it. And that is the problem that Seattle in particular has, as well as every city, well, all the major cities in general when it comes to the state of California. Oregon too. Okay, I think someone's knocking on my door.
It sounded like someone's coming down, an upset puppy and
coming
down the stairs.
That's me. It's my husband came down the stairs to go out and do some work. He came back from vacation, and yes, my puppies want to come downstairs, and he left them upstairs. So we'll see what happens. They'll create quite a fuss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
sorry.
Let's.
I was busy signing onto YouTube so I could make comments. That was quite a challenge for this boomer.
Yeah, like kind of like Discord, but we won't talk about that.
We're going to go for another 15 minutes. We're kind of significantly over what I wanted to go, but it's been a great conversation. So let's try to wind it down here. Last thoughts, maybe thoughts on future programming, if you guys.
Yes, I'd love to hear that. Other people's ideas.
Mm.
Yeah, because Cassie's working on creating her own channels, and she might want some ideas. And obviously, I love some ideas. I like to try to talk about shit that not everybody and their mom is talking about.
Yes.
So, that's my thing. So let's hear it.
Especially current events that are going under the media radar that no one's talking about but should be. That's always interesting, but it's not easy to find. Any red pill stuff. I want to always learn. What else, guys? I'm going to be doing nutrition, health, and mental and physical health, which we could always apply in any stream.
Mm.
I'm fascinated by it, obviously because I'm a nurse.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Yeah, there's that. But I was even before I became a nurse, actually. Hell, I love talking about dog training. It doesn't matter. There's not a subject you can't pick that I won't find interesting.
I'm sure we'll find one. I mean, it might take us another 15 years, but I'm sure we'll find one.
Someone has already asked me to do knitting videos, and I shall. Oh, yes, I shall.
Oh, God.
I know.
Oh, I'm not sure if I should feel sorry for the knitting or you.
What about your Shogun? Do you see anything that maybe is just not getting enough attention, not being talked about? Maybe more in the red pill sphere?
Well, I haven't really been paying a whole lot of attention to the red pill sphere a whole lot recently, because right now my area of focus and my area of interest is just in completely different things. Because I will say this. I know, although the gynocentrism thing, I understand that's important, for people to know and so forth. But I believe a lot of times, especially when it comes to MGTOW and stuff like that, they talk about women too much.
Yeah.
And to me, that gets old.
But it's not just that, like they don't really bring up self-actualization. No, can't say it. Self-actualization. That's it. Yeah, I'm tripping over again. Yeah, fucking speech disorder. And the alcohol too, to be honest.
Knew it.
But yeah, two combines, like, actually, it's a tug of war where I know I'm just not going to win. That's what it's like.
Great, Rosie.
I know. I need to stop making these metaphors, by the way. Like it's not I don't even do it on purpose. It just comes out my mouth. It's bad. It's a habit.
It's the artistic side of you.
And I lost my train of thought. Every thought died on the train, by the way.
Okay. We'll get back on track. What are you? Where are your interests right now, Shogun?
Okay, so my main interest is for starters, just leaving the woman stuff alone for a bit. Let's just we can come back to that later if necessary. But right now, my primary focus is focusing on what's happening in the election, what's happening with politics, getting people ready for any sort of impending economic downturn, whether it be here in the United States or especially UK. I have to say I'm most worried about people in the UK when it comes to Europe.
Oh, he's concerned for you, Rosie.
Well, I'm not. I'm just like, you know what's like really funny? Like the trend that I've noticed. Anything that kind of like protest wise, anything that happens in America, it kind of cross over to the UK, and it happens here, and I'm just like, bitches. I'm sorry, but if it wasn't for us, for Churchill in particular, you fuckers would not be alive. And you have America to thank you as well, because if it wasn't for us, you would not exist. You would not be in the UK. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's the truth of the reality. Well, it is, isn't it? Because
get over the fact that we slapped the shit out of you and made our own country.
Well, to be fair,
you see, we've learned our lesson. See.
Well, Rose Blades has a point, though. I mean, if there was no UK, there'd be no US.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'd be speaking a different language too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, quite honestly, actually, that would depend on the history, right? If England wasn't invaded by certain people, we would be speaking basically another brand of German, and then the future Americans would be speaking another brand of German, but that's not what happened. It just this is basically created between them, and then of course the Normans, the Romans. The language changed, but it's still kind of funny how some parts of the language still are actually in modern English.
Imagine if we were speaking a Slavic language instead.
Oh man.
That's very complicated. Something that I'm not really to commit to.
That's not going to happen. I
like
Russian.
Russian's too complicated for me. It's just like I looked at it and it's like no. just like no. Like it sounds like quite a pretty language, but it's just no. Like I'd.
Okay. Very good. Very good accent.
Glad you like it.
He's been studying. So
yes, I have.
With my go ahead.
Okay, but yes, going back to what I'm saying is that it's not looking good, especially for the West.
Oh no.
No.
It hasn't been for what since 2016.
Well, I think it's been looking
before that.
I mean, well, to me, things have been looking rather bleak before that. Now, I guess my line is different because my line was crossed a long time ago. I mean, even as a kid, I never trusted the government. And I have been watching things just go by and I say, well, when are people going to draw the line? And I just don't believe the West really has a line. So it's like a race to the bottom here.
At least for the UK, specifically England, the people are angry of how the government are handling this and all the other shit, like the left to say, but people are just basically just biting their tongue, basically.
Yeah, I can see that, and I can definitely say that I believe Britain shouldn't have given up their guns. I think they should have stormed the castle a long time ago, but I'll stop there because I don't want to risk you getting in any trouble.
Sure, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So
I don't want her to get taken away in the middle of the night. So yeah, but forget I said that. Please, no comments.
You were just kidding.
Yeah.
Haha, Google. We're just joking. We're a bunch of scamps.
Yeah, we're talking about some sort of strategy game, like what was that one strategy game where all of these European countries they clashed together in like the mid 17th?
Like Risk.
I thought it was called Call of Duty World War II.
There you go. There you go. We're just writing a movie script. Ha ha ha.
No, wait. I'm thinking of Civilization, the Europe edition.
There you go. There you
Yes,
go.
Civilization, where you had like the UK trying to conquer Sweden and so forth.
And those sillies, they got rid of their guns. Silly UK.
Yeah, they traded it in for crossbows and stuff, which like I
That's
remember
weird.
my opponent, he traded that in. I'm like, no, you keep the guns.
Mocks America about the guns, and then America mocks the UK for having no guns. It's kind of funny, isn't it? But UK technically does have guns, but you need a hunting license. That's how you get away with it.
You dorks don't realize that old "I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it"
Yep.
saying.
Right.
But we're used to a place where typically you're not shot at, so you wouldn't understand that because you live in a different environment. But when you're caught up in a place where guns are very rare, especially to get shot at,
You don't understand that you are subjects and not citizens.
we don't see it that way though.
Well, it doesn't matter how you see it.
I mean, technically, you are right because we still have a queen, so we are her subject.
Yeah, I mean that's just part of it, but there's more to it than that.
But what you don't understand is we have loyalty to her, and that's what you won't understand at all.
Nope.
No, exactly.
Nope. I'm
So
refraining.
that's where our loyalty is based on faith, and that's what I guess no one can take from us.
I'll be right back. I'm going to bring my
Specifically,
dogs.
there would be
German Shepherd that wants to come downstairs.
Okay, there's something pecking on the wall. I wonder if it's a woodpecker or something. If so, then I'm gonna have to scare it away because I can't legally kill it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna wait till Cassie comes back, but we're about.
why don't you just buy a water pistol and then you can just shoot at it with water.
Oh yeah, we're allowed to do that. We can throw ice cubes at it or something like that and say get out of here. And that's what I did.
They're protected,
Right.
Because they're but they rare or they just protected like how swans are protected in the UK. But the Queen owns the swans. That's the only difference. So we're legally not allowed to hurt them at all.
Yeah,
I don't really understand why though.
Okay, I see. Well, yeah, they're protected here because they're considered endangered or threatened, one of the two.
Yeah.
So it really also depends on the state you're in. Like there is one species of woodpecker where you're not allowed to do anything at all to it, but the rest of them you're allowed to scare them away. So the last residence I stayed at, there was a woodpecker there. I just kept throwing a banana peel at it, and it eventually left.
That's kind of interesting because your state also has a state bird. I'm not sure if you knew that, but like where I grew up in Ohio, the cardinal. So because it's the state bird, you're not allowed to kill them, even though they're not endangered or anything.
Huh. Well, I know Indiana has the cardinal as a state bird, but I don't think I've ever seen a cardinal there except maybe once.
Really?
Yeah.
I see them all the time.
That is really
I see
weird.
them where I'm at now all the time.
Yeah, where
It's a lot.
well, I see mostly robins and crows.
Huh.
Really? We once upon a time when I was really young, there was a lot of them, and now you see. In fact, you're lucky to see one in the UK, but they just disappeared.
Cassie?
Maybe they moved all to the US. Maybe they knew that Sony was going to blow up the UK.
Yeah, they cleared out before Sony nuked them. Smart.
Yeah.
moves.
Yeah, what's sad is that there are some birds that I really like because I'm kind of like Belverk in a sense. I like birds, but what happened to the Hawaiian crow was kind of tragic because I always wanted to see a Hawaiian crow.
The crows are awesome birds.
Yeah, crows are my favorite birds, and they're extinct in the wild. They only exist in captivity. Now I saw a Hawaiian pigeon. Now they're pretty interesting. I mean, they're in some way they're similar to the usual pigeons I see in the city, but they have more exotic tail feathers and stuff. I mean, they still have missing toes and stuff, but other than that, most of the feathers are different.
My favorite is the bald eagle, man. They've been reintroduced to this area, this side of the country. So they used to be exclusively a West Coast thing, but now they've reintroduced them to.
Was that because they were endangered, and that's why they're trying to increase its
Absolutely.
thing? Don't blame them.
So they're back, and I've seen them. They're really cool to look at.
Yeah, falcons are pretty cool too.
Yeah,
I don't see a lot of those.
We had red-tailed hawks and other birds, but they're just not as cool as the bald eagle. But the crows are fucking cool too because they're so damn smart.
Right.
I guess our equivalent would be the red kites and the buzzards. I don't think we actually have anything like that's like the red kites are very eagle-like. Like they are a version of an eagle basically, and buzzards I think might be, I can't remember for a fact, but I think they actually might be bigger than the red kite. And they're birds of prey basically. They hunt for their prey, or they go for roadkill, whatever they can basically get their little hands on.
Right.
Seagulls are jerks though. Seagulls will bully you.
Oh god, do you know what I find funny about seagulls? Right, we have some in the countryside because basically what happens, right? If I don't know if it's the same in like the US, but if the sea's too rough, seagulls migrate and they breed in the countryside, and then their offspring just stays in the countryside, and it's fucking weird seeing seagulls in places where they shouldn't be. It's just like, why are you here in a pond? This is a pond. This is not the sea. Could you please go back home to the fucking ocean where you're meant to be? Because it's summer now, and I'm pretty sure the sea is not actually rough now. Oh,
right.
It's not.
So now that Cassandra is back, I think we're getting ready to. I'm going to shut down the stream.
Okay. Just when I was about to bring up hummingbirds.
Yeah, we're going to do an after party in the server.
Awesome.
So if you guys want to keep, shooting the shit, I got to cook dinner and do other shit. This went.
That is true, but
you have to do live things.
Yeah, how dare you?
Yeah.
God. I'm sorry for I don't do like 5, 6, 8 hour streams. Why?
Don't? How dare you? I thought you were like a dictionary where you stream for 8 hours straight or more. Like I'm disappointed now. Like is everyone not disappointed? I was hoping for another 4 hours. It's over 4 hours actually, but yes, I'm disappointed now, guys. I'm gutted. I'm livid.
Stay disappointed. Stay mad. Rose mad. Okay. So final thoughts. We're gonna start with Cassandra. And just real quick, what are you up to? What are your future plans?
Oh gosh. Well,
we're gonna go clockwise, by the way.
All righty. Well, future plans. I'm putting a farm together, and I have 1 more week off to get some organization going.
Okay.
My first week I wasted pretty much.
You needed the break.
Yeah, but I took that break probably too seriously, and now I'm gonna have to get with it. I did purchase a lot of things for the farm, so that's good. And so I'm preparing for next year, putting together a chicken coop. Got to keep an eye on my dogs. They I was neglecting them with work. So yeah, my guys. And I did a video with them today, so that was fun.
Great.
But and you already heard getting the guts to get my channel started. So I'm gonna record some tonight and this week. That's about it.
Awesome. Rose?
Well, she kind of answered this already, but Cassandra needs to do some videos.
And I need you to keep kicking me in the ass and being my accountability partner.
There you go. Do your job.
What about you, Rosie?
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking of doing some things, but because things in the UK are looking very bleak right now. In fact, potentially we're looking at a lockdown because the cases, if the news is correct, things are getting worse, which means there could be another lockdown. So I'm just like, I want to film. Oh look, these cases, they're increasing, which means they might actually be like they might lock everything down again. So it's just like shit. So this is likely, and I'm going to have to postpone it again. Probably, like it's not looking good.
Well, you're just gonna have to eat that shit sandwich for the queen, you know.
Well, I'm just going to tell the queen, can I move in with you for you know, until the shit blows over? Because you have a very big palace and many rooms. I just stay in one of them. I promise. I will behave, okay? And I will steal nothing. I will behave. Just let me live here rent free, okay? And I will, let me do a documentary actually. And you get to cut all the other shit that you don't like about it. Please? Please and thank you.
Just remember, Rosie, number of cases is not indicative of.
We had I think it was 3,000 cases, and it was like a big rise. And it's just like, something like that.
I'm sorry. I just don't let them sow fear, because
what's terrifying is we're going back to June. That's the same state as June. If we keep going back to the same state as March, which is when I think we went into lockdown in the UK, then they're probably going to go into a false lockdown. It's just like, oh great, everything's going up.
Doing more testing. Yeah. The reason that's foolish is they're doing more testing. So they need to look at how many more of percentage are being tested compared to back then. And it's a huge amount more.
Well, what's funny is this fact people have been doing protests and they have not followed the guidelines. They've tried to claim that they followed the guidelines, but in the UK, I can say by judging by the pictures, they were not 2 meters apart.
Oh, every video I've seen, nobody's following the guidelines.
Just I'm just sad, right? Like, I can actually say this as a fucking British citizen, that when I was going into the shop, when we had to queue, right, clockwise, that we got in there, we were 2 meters apart. When we actually got into the store, right, this is where you're going to laugh. No one was actually doing any social distancing at all.
Precisely, yeah.
It's just like, why did we queue for something when we're not even doing it in the bloody store? What the fuck? What?
All right.
But moving on, yes.
You're right.
All right. So what we're working on is an open source alternative to Fraps, GPU-Z, and MSI Afterburner. Because honestly speaking, now those are good tools and all, but they're all closed source. Fraps hasn't been updated in years, and I want something different with features that I think are interesting. So I'm building this from scratch. I learned a lot from my tech career and so forth. So I have the skills to do it, and hopefully I can get it working. Now it's going to be free, but I will make it donationware, and I will announce it when it is ready, because it's not even stable or even usable at the moment. So when it's done, I will throw it out there, and hopefully if people like it, they will recommend it to their friends. Hopefully it'll become more popular than Fraps.
Nice.
And hopefully it'll look nice on my resume too.
Okay, just for the ignorant, and by ignorant I mean me, what in the world are you talking about?
Okay, so if you don't know what Fraps is, tool. Okay, so if you don't know what Fraps is one of those software tools for Windows. What it does is it allows you to record the screen, like when you're like playing a game or something. You can record the screen just by pressing a button, and then press the same button to stop it. You can take screenshots, and you could also get the frame rate of your game, even though the game doesn't normally display it on its own. I like having this because it drives me insane not knowing what the exact frame rate is and other things.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when I want to capture those random moments. I want to be able to record them, upload them to YouTube and so forth.
Cool. Okay.
So not only do I want to do that, but I also want my software to work for, I want it to work for anything that operates with Direct 3D12, Vulkan, and even UWP for Windows. I'm also working on a Mac and a Linux version, although Mac version is being a bit problematic. Linux I haven't touched yet, but I have plans for that, and I don't think it'll be too terribly difficult. So I'm just getting some stuff working on Windows right now.
Wow.
So
you know, if you need a resource, I suspect APOC would be amazing.
Yes, he's a good guy to talk to about that kind of thing.
Great guy. Yeah.
Oh, APOC is awesome. There's something I've been meaning to ask APOC because, well, for one, his IQ is 40 points higher than mine. And second, he's usually good at making thorough explanations and he isn't biased or anything like that. So I can usually, trust him with such topics. And sometimes I just want a second opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because getting the usual opinion, I mean, is nice and all, but other times I want to hear someone else speak on something. That's something else I've been wanting to do. I just keep forgetting to ask him this, but thank you for bringing up APOT, because now that I remember, I'll probably DM him tonight.
My pleasure.
Okay, so I will go last, and then I'm shutting it down.
All right.
Shut it down.
Rude.
Shut her down.
So yeah, I'm just gonna look for other topics that aren't covered as far as Red Pill. Mostly, if you hadn't noticed, I've been focusing on men, the men's side of things, instead of talking about women. I'm not sure if you guys noticed that I try to do that because, as Shogun pointed out, everybody's talking about the female side of it, and we don't look as much at ourselves, as dudes. Also, I would hope sometime soon, maybe next weekend, I can get out to Cassandra's farm if I can acquire ammunition and maybe doing some filming out there. I'm going to show a few drills for Red Pill guys that I think they should learn to do. This is tentative if possible.
All weekend.
But,
nice.
Also going to teach, her a few of these drills. Maybe she's even familiar with them already, since she dated a guy who seems to know what they were doing back in the day. So,
yep. Green Beret sniper.
I'm hesitant to teach tactics, but I can teach certain drills for defense and stuff.
Awesome.
So
nice. That's something that I've been wanting to learn, tactics. But when I get the money, I am definitely going to see if I can hire someone who is definitely trained to do such things. Because like you told me before, there's a difference between being able to pull the trigger and yet knowing how to use that weapon properly. Because it's kind of like an
let me tell you why I'm hesitant to teach tactics right now, because we are in a with rule of law situation. So there's still rule of law despite the bullshit like protests and riots. There is still some semblance of rule of law, and as such, anything I would maybe teach could be reverse engineered, and I don't want to be involved with that. You get what I'm saying?
I think so, yeah.
Right? Okay. I hope so. If not, I'll explain in the after party.
Okay.
But
oh yeah, I'll be streaming with Halsey in 3.5 hours about gun stuff.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
About that.
Cool. All right. Thank you all for being here, and everybody who has been consistently watching or who stopped in. I appreciate your viewership. Thank you very much. And I am going to end it here. So I'll see you guys on the next one.
Thank you. Bye-bye, all.
All right.